Another fan letter. Love these. Dear Ryan, I'm a huge football fan like a lot of people. But during halftime, I'm playing Chumba Casino. And when I win, I feel like the MVP. I love that for you. In fact, I've got an idea. Chumba Casino has been delivering excitement for over a decade, so you're in for a world of fun. Start playing today. Speaking of gold, MVP trophy.
First, I want to get the player's perspective. So here's OEL and what this team is looking to improve upon.
I thought we were a little bit tighter in neutral zone. I liked that side of things, that we kind of came together. So we're looking to build off that and obviously worked on it the day before or the day off the last game. So hopefully can continue building on that. But I liked the way we defended for the most part. I thought it was a little bit better, but still some stuff that we can improve, obviously.
What does Troy's that you're bringing to your group?
No, I think obviously a veteran player, been in the league for a while, and leagues it all on the ice, and we're excited to have him.
You were here last year, and this team defended very well for long stretches. What do you think is going to be missing in your eyes as time's going on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're trying to defend the same way, and sometimes it's just, kind of focus on defending again, and we've been scoring a lot of goals, which is good. It's not easy to do in this league, so just getting everything together, but sometimes it's just getting over that speed bump and continue to work on it, continue to believe in it as a group, as an organization, and that's what we're focusing on. But obviously, we all know that we have to be better in our own end, and that's something that we've been talking about, obviously.
Looks like Cowan may get some time with that power play unit. What do you think he can bring to that group, and what'd you like to have him back in the lineup here?
No, I thought he was really good when he played. Liked his grit, liked the way he played with the puck. He looked confident, so obviously good to have him back, and just excited to see him out there again.
Where does this building, this city rank for you in terms of road stops on the tour?
No, it's up there. I like it. It's a great city. Obviously, been here a few times before, so I enjoy coming here, and it's a nice city, but it's a cool building to play in as well. So it's gonna be a good night here.
The Leafs in Chicago tonight. The Drake Hotel says hello, Stu.
I've had some late nights in Chicago, I'm not going to lie. But I'll tell you, I've had some great performances as well on the ice.
Okay, so let's go down the road of if the stumbling continues. Clearly, when you pick up somebody on waivers, that's the start of, that's the easy way to sort of tweak your lineup. And the Camp contract was on its way out, and I think everybody's happy that he's found a new job and that money comes off the books. But the next step would be, you can't be claiming waiver players all the time. You'd have to trade somebody, and as soon as you go down that road, you go, how? I mean, the cupboard is bare in terms of youth depth. They've traded most of it away. The draft picks are gone. You just hope it doesn't get there, because I'd be hard pressed to come up with a solution that way.
Yeah, and to sort of compound that problem, it's got to be money coming out that's money coming in, and when you don't have a lot of that or a lot of assets, right? Are you really going to be trading a Cowan? Probably not, right? You're seeing Minton, right? That team could be using a Minton right now with regards to depth, right? Again, they do maybe have some assets in younger defensemen in the American League. That Thrun who played in San Jose. He's having a half decent, but again, if you're going to make a move, you don't do it for the sake of doing it. You need a move that's going to move the needle, and trading for a bottom six guy or a middle defenseman, that's not really going to change the tide of the team. I personally think with what's going on, you need a power play specialist. It's been, and a quarterback, it's been struggling a little bit too far, way too long in playoffs and key moments, where now that's been a trend where you need a power play quarterback, and I think you need a top six forward. So when does that happen? Those trades don't happen in the middle of the season. Those happen towards the trade deadline, and it's tough to make a deal like that right now because teams think they're still in the mix, right? Detroit's not getting rid of anybody. They're like, we're in the thick of things right now. Pittsburgh, we're not getting rid of anybody. We're third place in the division as well. So those moves are going to be made near the deadline, and there's a lot of hockey to be played between now and then. So it has to come from within. Guys have to step up. It's not going to be a coaching change. Craig Berube, I believe, has a little bit too much respect in the league to be gone this early into his tenure. Treliving, I don't think, is going anywhere. So it's got to come from the players and come from within, and there's no lifelines coming. You just got to flat out play better, Tats.
Yeah, I agree with you. But, as you were describing all that, you're describing the power play and a top six forward, and you could probably add in the PK. We know who that guy was. So he had to depart for his own reasons. He decided to leave, and there you go. But having said that, you don't replace a guy like that in one off season. It takes a little while before you can sort all that out. And while you're sorting it out, you're sort of figuring what everybody else can do in terms of you ask more. And clearly at this point, you're not getting more.
Yeah, but we talk about plugging holes. Colorado did it, right? They lost Rantanen. Carolina did it. They lost Rantanen, right?
Colorado's the answer to everything that way.
You just got to go out. Go get him a car. Go get him a car and McKinnon, and you're good to go. It's easy peasy. But it can't be an excuse. And trust me, we're in a little bit of a bubble here in Toronto. But there's teams that are going through the same thing, and it's magnified. Look at New York Rangers. They're in a similar situation. They haven't won at home. I think they finally put together a couple wins, but there's high expectations there with high-paid guys, and it has to come from these guys stepping up and doing it themselves, and that's what it is. And whether the motivation is play your way off the island, you need a contract extension. So there's a lot of motivation from within for these guys to elevate. And from a player's perspective, I'll tell you this. You don't feel sorry for yourself. You're like, I'm going to be the guy. You don't get to the National Hockey League without having pride. There's guys in that room saying, I'm going to be the guy that turns things around, and sometimes it takes time. But I'll tell you this, other teams are improving. Other teams are on heaters. It might be too big of a hole to crawl out of if they don't turn things around a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, and I think that anybody with any kind of common sense would have suggested that there was no reason to worry about the blue line and the goaltending at this point, and that those are the two things that have gone south that have really hurt the team. But that's just that's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say.
Yes, and I'll leave this for this person to tell the story when it's their time to tell it. But there was some prediction within the company that predicted the Maple Leafs were going to be right in this exact spot out on the outside looking in with regards to the playoffs. So I shall name no names, but for me, that's disappointing. It's disappointing for me because of the heartbreak of last year, and there should have been so much pride where you're coming out and you're going to be the Pittsburgh Penguins winning 8 of the first 9 games, and the power play is going to be clicking, and we know how the media can get, and we're going to turn things around right away. So you can blame the injuries, you can blame the new guys getting acclimated, you can blame guys going off to greener pastures, but this is a talented playoff contending team, and that's why it's disappointing. If they didn't, again, I would just be sitting here laughing, saying, hey, better luck next year, but this group is better and can, and I believe will be better.
The one thing that's sort of typical of Maple Leaf fortune is that the moment you think it's over, it's not. I'm not talking about the playoffs, but the regular season. So how many times during the course of the 82 games, this is not going to work out, and then they have the game of a lifetime.
Yeah, it's like Step Brothers, where they put the dirt, he buries his one brother, and then you think he's done, and he sticks the hand out, I'm still alive, and they come back and finds a way. So based on that metric and that narrative, we can expect a big, convincing win coming sooner than later. That's sort of been the trend with this group.
I'm still going to the big second period for both teams because they both struggle. So I'm going to put an over-under at 6 goals in that second period.
That's a good call. I'll double up with you there.
I don't know what it's going to be worth, but it's something to watch. So Joseph Wall starts in goal. We'll set up the opening face-off for you next as Leafs Game Night continues on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around in the cups.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good. For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
Holidays deserve Pepsi. Thanksgiving just got more refreshing and affordable. From November 15th through November 28th, Pepsi is serving up gratitude and savings just in time for the holidays. Find digital coupon savings by scanning codes in the Publix Extra Savings flyer or on the shelf signs found in the soda aisle. Need help? Visit customer service located at the store's entrance. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Oh, triple treat, how lovely are your pizzas. The Triple Treat Box from Pizza Hut is back. 2 medium pizzas, breadsticks, and dessert starting at $19.99. It comes in a festive box, and it's the only meal that holidays as hard as this song. Oh, triple treat, heck yeah, we gonna eat some. The Triple Treat Box, available for a limited time only at Pizza Hut. Feed good times.
Will you be okay for the show Saturday?
Yep, look. ZocDoc has a ton of in-network doctors who can see me this week.
This week?
Reviews say Dr. Okami has a great bedside manner. Or Dr. Stafford. Patients say he never rushes appointments and has an opening today.
You should rush to his office.
And booked.
Now I need ZocDoc to find an ear doctor.
You've got options. Book on ZocDoc today.
Add Carlo to the list now. Wall starting in goal tonight, but questions loom here. Where is the supportive play? How about some shots on goal? Will Wall jump right back in and play like he's never been gone? And how about the special teams getting back to where they once were? Yeah, how about it? Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Oh, yes, they do. Welcome to Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on a Saturday night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. Jim Taddy, former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. Bonesy and Ralphie getting set with their accounts and descriptions. Here's the Leaf lineup tonight, and there are some adjustments. Tavares between Nylander and Robertson. Waugh centering Easton, Cow, and Recalled. And Matthew Nyes. Domi centering McMahon and Michelli. And it'll be Lorenz centering Yarncroke and Joshua. On the blue line, Carlo is out. Morgan Riley and Philip Myers. It'll be Benoit and McCabe, Mermis and OEL. Wall starts in goal. Hildeby is the backup. The extra forward, of course, is Sammy Blais, and he's out. So, Stu, what do you make of all that?
Well, it's good to see, Easton Cowan get another opportunity as he has 4 points in 10 games. And, again, he's another guy that's going to be relied upon to provide some offense. But I like about him, whether he's not putting up points, he's getting it on the forecheck, he's playing the game the right way, and he's playing a little bit more defensively responsible. And that's what's needed with this group. They've sort of at times been drifting and playing the game the wrong way, getting pucks, up the middle when they're supposed to be going off the wall. So, again, it's a bit of a spark to the lineup right now, and they're going to be mixing and matching as they have all these injuries, but now it's got to be done with the group within. So everyone's got to step up. I'm going to be expecting a little bit more from Waugh and Nyes and Joshua and Lorenz and Yankroke. So again, you're missing Austin Matthews. It's going to be very, very difficult to replace his offense, but ultimately to a man, it's a team game, and other teams are going through the same injury problem, so you can't blame it on injuries. There's no excuses. I expect a big, solid, defensive effort from this group, because if you turn into a track meet, you're going to see the Connor Bedard show, who's been playing at an amazing clip. He's got 11 points his last 5 games. He's on a 4-game goal-scoring streak as well, too. So, again, the Chicago team is young. They're on fire. They play the game the right way. Spencer Knight is amongst the top leaders in goaltending, save percentage, and goals against as well, too. So a good, solid defense will lead to a good offense for Maple Leafs. I'm looking for them to improve this tonight in Chicago.
The news of the day was the waiver claim by the Leafs. Edmonton defenseman Troy Stecher claimed by the Leafs on his way to meet the team, but obviously not ready to play tonight, expected to debut. Is a Maple Leaf Tuesday at home to St. Louis. So when you look at this lineup, let's deal with I think the most positive story of them all is John Tavares and him sort of reassuming the leadership role. Not that he stepped away from it, but without Austin Matthews, he's the guy, and he's played like it, hasn't he?
Absolutely. And in this market, being hockey gods, you can tend to get an ego. And this is the guy that just comes in every single day and just puts the work boots on. And sometimes the microscope shifts. And when it comes to Tavares, it skips right to the next guy because he's giving an honest effort every single game. 23 points this year as well. He's got 5 goals and 7 points in his last 5 games. Mr. Consistent. And that's probably the biggest compliment that you can have in today's NHL. And he is leading the pack for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. And yes, I know maybe Nylander's a little bit more flashy, he has more points and all that, but more players. If we had 6-7 forwards playing like John Tavares right now, they would be sitting atop of the Atlantic Division. So again, take a page out of his book. As win, lose, or draw, he's moving his boots, he's competing, he's getting to the net, and he's elevating his game. And that's where I don't find it difficult for this team, because you're not looking for something that's not there. You're seeing it in John Tavares, who's being a leader for this group. So take a page out of his book, do those little details, and that's why he's finding success. It's not him blowing down the wing like Nathan McKinnon or Cale Makar or Lane Hudson. He's just putting his work boots on, playing the game the right way, and that's why he's having success for this Maple Leafs group.
So we talk about concerns about shots on goal, which is low, the offense not clicking, the power play not doing its job, and the penalty kill. But the 5-on-5 unit, here's Coach Berube, and if they can tighten things up defensively.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look at, going back to that first period in LA, just our stick details and our aggressiveness in our own zone to kill plays and not give up a lot. I think that's got to be the urgency we need every shift in all game, not just in the first. I think, and it starts up ice for me a lot of times, but I just like the way we closed on people in the first period. Our stick details were really good. We had 5 guys in the picture, so that's how we need to approach this game tonight.
Why did you decide to keep the group out of the rink this morning? Not do a skater.
Just a 6 o'clock game. Okay. It's a little bit of a long bus ride down here and back, and I felt like we could do the meetings at the hotel we skated yesterday. So the only guy that didn't skate was Nyes. Maintenance day, but that was the thought process there.
Any memorable games when you went against Stetcher as a coach in the West? What did you really appreciate about his game?
Yeah, like I said, going back, I don't have memorable games or anything like that, but he's a competitive guy. He really is, and he has to be. And but it's like I said, we were looking for another D or getting another D, and it's the right hand shot was kind of what we needed.
How do you think Easton can complement Wall on that line? Looked like you had him there yesterday.
Waz had the puck a lot and transported it up the ice really well. In my opinion, he's hanging on the pucks in the offensive zone. And with Cowan there, you got a guy that can, make plays, does the same sort of thing. He can transport it up the ice. He can make plays. And so I got Nyes there with those guys. Not that Nyes had a strong game last game, and I think he can help that line just kind of balance it out a little bit. I loaded up the last game. Just wanted to kind of balance the lines a little more for tonight.
That's Craig Berube. So, Stu, let's talk about that line. Waz centering Cowan and Nyes. There's potential there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And again, sometimes it's tough to really measure exactly what the impact is. But I'll tell you this: I think Nicholas Waugh is playing some good hockey, and yes, he was brought in to maybe get back to scoring 18, 19 goals. But he's doing a good job winning wall battles, getting pucks, advancing it, transporting it across the blue line. And I could see that line really, really dominating. Right, Nyes is a straight line player. Same thing with Cowan. Get in on the forecheck. They're going to be turning pucks over and being ultimately tougher to play against. And when you're tough to play against, it puts the other team on their heels, and it forces the other team to make mistakes. And when you do that, you wait for the second or late third period, and that's where you really start to get your opportunity. So that's a line I'm going to be keying on, because they have an opportunity to really exploit the young defensemen that Chicago has. So again, great job. I think they're going to do a good job tonight too, and I would not be surprised to see them on the scoreboard early and often.
So we'll talk about defensive responsibilities in a 5-on-5 play. When you're up against the Bedard, Burakovsky, Bertuzzi line, you got to watch your stuff, don't you?
You do not turn pucks over. That's a dead man zone in the neutral zone. So if you have to pick it up and kick it or throw it over the glass, do that. Do not turn it over, because the speed. And that's another thing with Bedard this year. He's creating his own offense by playing good defense. He's pacing guys. He's got good gaps. He's turning pucks over in the neutral zone as well, too. So you have to be very, very mindful of transporting the puck out of the middle. Again, I'm sort of dreading it, because that's sort of been the MO for the Maple Leafs the last little bit too. So they got to be very, very mindful of that and know when he's on the ice. So whether it's the first line or fourth line, being mindful there is 98 coming over the boards, because he is at a whole other level. He is on the same level right now as the McDavids and the Draisaitl's. He's playing to be on Team Canada. So again, take away his time and space. It's going to be tough to take that away on the power play. So you got to have lots of discipline. But that line has been clicking very, very well, especially as of late. So that can be one team, one line that can turn the game up on its end. Be very, very careful on how you approach playing against that top line.
And Chicago has some grizzled veterans, some of them former Leafs. The line that they're going to start, the forward line they're going to start to face off this hockey game, is Foligno between Lafferty and Landon Slaggert.
Oh, Foligno, barely knew you, right? But that's another guy that went in, and you thought his career was maybe over after his Toronto stop, but he found a way to stay in the league by playing hard, being having great leadership qualities as well too. And Ilya Mikheyev is remember that guy flying up and down the wing with 12 breakaways a game and only scoring on 2 of them as well too. So some ex-Leafs in the building, so there's going to be a lot of money on the board, and everyone gets a little extra motivated playing against their former team, especially when it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. So this team, Davidson's been doing a great job of just quietly putting together some great pieces that's going to be a force to reckon with in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, their second line is Green centering Mikheyev and Teravainen, so that's a pretty good line too. When I look at the Leafs bottom 6, tonight Domi between McMahon and Michelli, and Lorenz centering Yarncroke and Joshua. I think we've said this a million times in the last 4 or 5 years. If somebody there could just make a statement and build from there, that would be nice.
110%, right? And again, I know who you're saying it without saying is that's Domi, right? And the expectation is you're making, $3.5 million, whatever it may be. You got to be a 20 and 20 guy. You can't just have, 15, 20 assists and 4 or 5 goals, 10 goals. He's expected to be a big contributor. So again, expect him to do well. Joshua has been putting some games together. He's got to be a little bit more consistent. I'm fine with Yarncroke. We know exactly what he's doing. Lorenz, that's another guy that's got to sort of elevate. So we're looking for some guys where you can't bring your A game every single night. If they were playing B+ hockey, and I know it's easy to point the fingers at the top guys, I think this team a little bit more balanced production. I think they'd be a little bit further along. So I'm sure Craig Berube's mentioning it about the bottom 6 as well.
So the 100th anniversary ceremony is dragging on a bit in Chicago, so we'll go another minute or so. These numbers, and I said them earlier in the broadcast, are just startling to me. You'd think they were Chicago's. Goals against the Leafs tied for 31st in the league at 383. Power play 17%, that's 23rd. PK 78.2, that's 19th. Their special teams total 95.2. That's just way too low.
Not good enough. Not good enough. But again, Chicago has struggled in the second period as well too. So I'm sure if I'm Toronto, that second period we got to find a way to elevate. But I'll tell you this: Chicago, they're probably tired of the noise. And Connor Bedard is another guy. Am I not on the Olympic team? You think I'm not going to be getting my $12 million? They're turning the narrative and changing the narrative, and they really found a way to come out of the gates playing some great hockey. So for Toronto, it's change the narrative or just be the best versions of yourself. I'm expecting that to be turning around starting tonight.
Here's Nick Waugh and the challenge Chicago should pose tonight.
Really good offensive team. They're really good on the rush, good power play. They have to be disciplined, be careful in the neutral zone with turnovers, that kind of stuff. So, they're a pretty good team right now.
What's the difficulty defending Connor Bedard in particular?
He's really good at finding lanes. He's got obviously a really good shot, and he can change the angle with it. So, got to be careful with that, but it comes out to being careful in the neutral zone. Like I said, if he doesn't have those rush changes, then it's good for us.
Easton Cowan skating with you yesterday at practice. What do you think it'll be like to play with him?
Always fun to see him around. He's got a lot of energy. He's fast, can make plays. Fun to play with. So it's good to see him.
What's it like to play in this building? It's
always
first time, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I was telling him it's always fun to play here. Good atmosphere. The ice is good. He's really excited.
You must have crossed paths with Troy Stetcher a bunch in the West. You guys just picked him up. What stands out most about his game?
Obviously, he's not the biggest guy, but he's really hard to play against. He can kind of feisty, really physical, good stick, good first pass. So all around, he's tough to play against for sure.
How do you describe the mood of the team? Obviously, a losing streak, trying to break it. What's your sense of the group?
Well, obviously, you're gonna try to change things up tonight. I think overall, first period last game was pretty good. But we got to play full 60 minutes, so we get back right to it and try to play our best effort tonight.
Nick Waugh talking about Chicago. By the way, Patrick Sharp, Corey Crawford, Denny Savard in the building tonight as the Hawks continue to honor former players for their 100th anniversary of being in the NHL. It looks like Tyler Bertuzzi may not play tonight. He wasn't out there for the warm-up, so an adjustment maybe. We'll verify that, or at least Bonesy and Ralphie will, as this goes along. And of course, if you're in Chicago, and Ralphie can testify to this, when he was there as a prospect, obviously different building, but nothing beats that national anthem. With all due respect to all the anthem singers, and there are great ones in the league, that one is special.
110%. And again, there's just a nostalgic, feeling every time you're there. It's a big, big building, very, very prideful. I don't think they're selling out like they used to, but that national anthem, right? Sometimes it's tough to get ready for a National Hockey League game. I know it's, crazy saying that, but when you hear that anthem and just the roar of the crowd and just sort of the pride that sort of rings through that building, it definitely makes you, come out of the gates like a racehorse, 110%.
And that building is, I think, it's 1 million square feet. It's massive.
It is.
It's got to be the biggest building in the league.
Yeah, and I was healthy scratch there a couple times too. The media lunch and dinner that they have there too is like great. They got like prime rib. They got
thanks for rubbing
cream
that
of spinach and all that. Like I don't know what that is. Yeah, again, what is that we speak of, right? But that's neither here nor there. But the little details matter. The details matter.
I stepped into that one.
I love the pizza. No. I love the pizza. I'll tell you that. I eat pizza every single day. I need some stock in pizza. How much pizza I've been eating lately.
or 241 pizza, but nonetheless, I'm just going to say this: that the yes guy odds now over under 6 goals in the second period. Would you wager on that one?
I'm going to go no guy. I'm going to take the under there just because, again, 19 goals, I think, in the last 4 or 5 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If I'm Craig Berube, I'm going through video. I'm ripping some guys, and I've heard that was the case, I think, Monday or Tuesday. You got to play good team defense, so they have to sacrifice. I'm sure they're going to some of these guys like, hey, we know you're leading the league. We know you got 8 goals in the last whatever May game, but we need team defense. We need to be retrieving to the house. We need to be getting pucks out. We need to be managing the puck. We can't be turning it over. We got to ice it if we have to, right? So I think tonight's going to be a little bit. I'm going to think if the line is 5.5 for the night, I'm going to go under, or it's just going to hit. I think it's not going to be a barn burner tonight. I don't believe.
Okay, so let's play just an abbreviated yes guy no guy before we break. Yes guy no guy. Tuesday will actually be a better night for the Leafs at home to St. Louis than tonight will be in Chicago.
I'll say no guy, just because, again, there's a lot riding on tonight, and I've heard the energy, I've heard the repercussions of maybe their streak, and that's happened in years past, and when that happens, they find a way to have a convincing win. There's a convincing win coming within the next 72 hours. I think that's going to be the case.
Okay, so you see like a better performance. I mean, the one against Los Angeles wasn't bad. It just faded, and they didn't have a lot of opportunity.
They gave the game away, right?
Yeah.
And I always talked about my pride in only being scored on 7 times in the whole entire year. And I remember being a -2 one game. I'm like, oh my God, my career is over. Like, that's how much pride you have to have in playing defense, especially when you're struggling, right? So LA came in, they played a great game. You heard the sound bites with Doughty over the years, and you got Byfield walking in with his YSC jersey on too. There's got to be a little bit of pride, because when you play with pride, win, lose, or draw, the coaches and the fans can agree with that and live with that. But there's just some of the losses have been, where's the pride, where's the urgency, where's the bite? And again, it's a prideful group, I believe, and a lot of these guys are very highly paid. You don't turn into a star player by not having that pride. They're just in a bit of a lull, and we'll see if they turn it around tonight.
So let's just circle back before we break and talk about Troy Stetcher, the pickup. He will be a nice ad, won't he?
I'm telling you, he is steady Eddie, and that's what this is sort of the recipe for this Toronto stew right now, where there's just a little bit of erraticness, and what are we going to get, especially on the back end? And he's a guy that comes in, not the biggest guy, but he comes in and he makes you evaluate your defensive staff. He takes a look and he plays the game the right way. Great addition for this Maple Leafs team.
The opening faceoff is next. Ralphie and Bonesy standing by. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Why do I love getting my last-minute gifts at Shoppers Drug Mart? Well, lots of stores, many open late, great selection of gifts, and let's not forget the PC Optimum points. I get gifts for this.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at NovantHealth.org/weight loss now. That's NovantHealth.org/weight loss now.
Did you know that parents rank teaching financial literacy as the toughest life skill? That's where Greenlight comes in, the debit card and money app made for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and track spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn how to earn, save, and spend responsibly, while parents have peace of mind, knowing smart money habits are being built with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/try now. That's greenlight.com/try now.
Oh, watch for beans.
That sign says watch for bears. Here, let's find you an eye doctor on ZocDoc.
Look, Dr. Barker is in network.
That says Dr. Baker. Here, let me help. Reviews say he's very attentive. Dr. Cleaves has 5 stars and an opening tomorrow.
That's great.
Booked it.
Nice. So, why do I need to watch for falling socks?
You've got options. Book on ZocDoc today.
Holidays deserve Pepsi. Thanksgiving just got more refreshing and affordable. From November 15th through November 28th, Pepsi is serving up gratitude and savings just in time for the holidays. Find digital coupon savings by scanning codes in the Publix Extra Savings flyer or on the shelf signs found in the soda aisle. Need help? Visit customer service located at the store's entrance. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Call 1-800-353-6013. That's 1-800-353-6013. Again, 1-800-353-6013.
The Northern Super League is Canada's first pro women's soccer league, and the NSL Final, presented by Toyota, hits BMO Field on November 15th. See the best in Canadian...
Hi, Tom Selleck here. In 1980, when Magnum started, that was the first time I really ever had any discretionary income. And that's when I first started buying gold. A friend of mine recommended Goldco, and I gave him a try. And I gotta say, I wasn't sorry. Look, you can go to tomlikesgoldco.com to see if gold and silver are right for you. That's tomlikesgoldco.com.
Everywhere you want it.
Leafs embark on a road trip to Chicago as they will tangle with the Blackhawks, the much improved Chicago Blackhawks. Pregame ceremony, part of it celebrating the 100th anniversary of the establishment of the franchise at the venerable old Chicago Stadium, the Madhouse on Madison Street, which is across the street from the current building, the United Center, and you could have fit 4 of those Chicago stadiums inside the United Center. They went from 21,000 seats and 0 private boxes to about 22,000 seats and 200 private boxes, Mr. Ralph. And you, of course, were a cornerstone for all of that kind of development, what with being a draft pick of the Blackhawks and going to their training camps and stuff like that.
Shortly after that, they said, let's tear this thing down. They asked me to be there for the ceremony, but I was a little nervous.
Well, there was
wrecking
that.
ball came.
Yes, yeah.
But memorable for you, your first NHL game in that.
Yeah, it was. And everybody has asked me, what was your favorite rink? No questions asked. The old barn, the Madhouse on Madison Street in Chicago was always my favorite spot.
You remember the score of that game?
3-3. Down 3-0. Rallied for a 3-3 tie. Speaking of which, that needs to happen with the current Maple Leafs. They seem to be giving up goals at an alarming rate, and we will see how that all transpires tonight. Joseph Woll is getting the start in goal. He is 1-1-0 lifetime against the Hawks, 2.59. This is his first game this season.
Well, and really didn't get a whole lot of a warm-up to get in. Maybe rushed a little bit because of Anthony Stolarz being out. Just a game and a half with the Toronto Marlies, 0-1-1 with the Marlies in 2 starts, .885 save percentage, 3.72 goals against average.
And one of the great success stories, Spencer Knight with a .923 save percentage and a 6-3-3 record for the Blackhawks, has been their backbone as we get set. The faceoff is won by the Blackhawks as it's cleared into the Toronto zone as the Leafs defend the goal to our left and the Blackhawks are to the right. It is played up on the wing and pushed out into the center ice area, and the Blackhawks off a skate as it'll go back down into Chicago territory. Brought back up now by Slaggert, in across the line. Wall out of the cage to play it on the boards, but Riley missed it. But the Maple Leafs are going to get it ahead and get it up on the right wing boards. Shot down into the zone by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Played around by the goaltender Knight to get it up on the wing, and the Hawks will get it out at center, wearing their red uniforms with the Blackhawk emblem on the front. The Leafs in their road white and blue. Played up at center ice by Simon Benoit to get it to the line. That comes out into neutral ice. Nylander waits for teammates to get onside and will flip it down into the Chicago zone. Knight playing it around the boards. Nylander hoping that a puck might materialize on the boards, and it does, but it's on the stick of Nick Robertson. Centering pass for Tavares. He tried to get it back to the blue line, but it was cut off and brought to center ice by Bedard and sent into the Toronto zone. Puck in the Toronto end. Robertson turning to gain access to it. Drops it back off, and now the Leafs are getting a change. And it is Myers trying to stretch things out by playing it around back of the goal with an angled pass. And now Riley gets it up on the left wing, in over the line, trying to work in on the boards there was McMahon. It comes around on the near side. Michelli trying to get to it, as is Domi. McMahon's gone to the front of the net, but the puck won't reach him. And it's brought up on the left wing side, and Teravainen is going to get it to center ice. Now we got some audio from the location as it's back down into the Toronto zone. Played out into the center ice area. Domi raced after it, couldn't catch up to it. Lavushinov got it up on the wing, and the Hawks almost had it stolen there. Tipping it was Dakota Joshua, and he would have been in behind everyone. Mermis runs into traffic as it comes up on the wing, and the Leafs bank it out at center ice, and Yarncrook couldn't get over the line with it. A bit of interference there as the Leaf player was knocked down, but now on the left wing is Ryan Donato in with a shot. First save of the season made there by Joseph Woll's blocking glove. Leafs around back of the net, getting it up on the wing, and they'll play it back to the defense to get organized again in their own zone. Played out at center and down into Chicago territory. Murray dropping it back, and Grzelcyk gets it up on the right side. Carried in over the line by Burakovsky, but he had it taken away at the Leaf blue line. Leafs trying to outmuscle the puck, got it off on the right side. Here's McCabe in with a shot, block, rebound, fed wide of the net. I'm thinking that was more a pass, hoping for a deflection that never materialized, but it was a good chance nonetheless. Back to the point now, the Blackhawks keeping the puck in. Kaiser Gets it down into the corner. A centering pass will come back to the near wing. Kept in by Bedard. Off onto the right side, looking for Bedard in front. The puck deflects and has gone out of play. And we are 3:22 into the first period, and this face-off will be brought to you by Alpine Credits. Do you own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca.
Well, Blackhawks much improved here in the early going. 8-5-4 coming in. But they have missed the playoffs 5 straight seasons and 7 of the last 8. The only season they made it was the COVID season in the play-in. But Connor Bedard, Mr. Bowen, is on a tear. Currently tied for 3rd in points in the National Hockey League, and a 9-game point streak with 8 goals and 19 points in that stretch.
Leafs win the face-off with Tavares. The puck on the wall. Riley chipping it and gets it bouncing back towards him, and the Leafs just get clear of it and get it out at center ice. Blackhawks at their own blue line. Louis Crevier couldn't get it in over the line. Now the Hawks do. Left wing side, a backhand is fired on goal by Frank Nazar, but it is handled by Wall, and he will stop play. Jeff Blashill is the new head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. Mike Pekka, Anders Sorensen, Mike Vellucci are the assistant coaches, so a big-time change in the direction behind the bench for the Blackhawks as well.
Jeff Blashill, of course, longtime coach of the Detroit Red Wings. Mike Pekka, former Leaf, was with the New York Rangers last year.
Longtime Buffalo Sabre. His playing days. Draw one by the Leafs. They get it up and off a stick and down the ice. No icing. Blackhawks have to go back into their own zone. Brought out by Grzelcyk. Got it up on the wing. Partially blocked. Leafs. Nyes able to get it into the zone. Now sending it around back at the net. Trying to get a cycle going here with Nick Roy. Roy against the boards. Easton Cowan brought up from the minors into the action as well, as it is fired around the boards and down into Chicago territory. Played in on the wing, left wing side. Foligno with a long shot that Wall has caught easily. Second shot on goal for the Blackhawks by the Sudbury native. Leafs are without a shot on goal on Spencer Knight at this point, and that has been a factor. They are not getting pucks to the net. They are getting badly outshot and outchanced in this 4-game losing streak.
And especially, on the road, just 1-4 on the road this season, and we know it's been a home-heavy schedule for the Leafs to start, so they've got to figure it out. 25 wins, a franchise record last year away from Scotiabank Arena, and it's almost amazing, isn't it, that they're 500, because a lot of the wins haven't felt good.
No, you're right about that, but you are what you are. You are what your record says you are. Long shot is going to be gloved by Wall, and he will stop play and bring a face-off in the Toronto zone.
We're talking to somebody about the Leaf goaltending, and no, it has not been as good as it was last year. I think the numbers speak for that. But
the worst save percentage in the league.
Yeah, but the other side of that is, I said it's like telling a pitcher the difference between this year and last. It's like telling Treyu Savage next year, you know what? Going to be the same, but we need 4 outs in an inning instead of 3, and that's the Leafs have been asking. Instead of 3 or 4 big saves a night, they've needed 7 or 8.
Played down into the Chicago zone. Around back of the net, it got past Domi and up on the wing, and out at center ice now is Bedard. Bedard working in from a sharp angle, shot the puck well wide. Kept in at the blue line by Kaiser. Back at the net it goes. Bedard looking for a pass in front, didn't make it to him, and it's back of the goal, and now McCabe pushes it in along the boards, and Bedard getting it back to the point with a long shot. That was deflected wide. Round back of the net. Nicely shielded by Domi. He'll get it up on the wing, and the Maple Leafs will get it out at center, but not much further. Change is coming for the Leafs as it's brought in by Bedard. Bedard down into the corner, trying to drive the net from a sharp angle was Ryan Green, but it seemed to roll off his stick, and the shot was harmless. Shot right back down into the Toronto zone. McCabe to his defense partner. Oliver Ekman-Larsson tries to return the favor. McCabe backhands it up on the wing, and Robertson couldn't control the puck. It's out at center and brought quickly back in. Ilya Mikheyev with the shot, and that's blockered away by Wall. Puck along the boards in the Toronto zone. McCabe back at the net. Takes a look on the boards to get it up on the wing, and Tavares starts out with a pass ahead to Nylander. Quickly on the left wing for Robertson, a long shoot-in. That was cleared wide of the net by Spencer Knight. I don't know as they're going to credit the Leafs with a shot on goal, and as we say that, it pops up on the screen, and it is a shot. The Leafs have given up 4, and that is their first attempted goal. Played right back down into the Chicago zone. Round back at the net, Connor Murphy getting it up on the wing. Backpedaling in his own zone was Teravainen, and the Leafs get a turnover. It'll come to the line and flipped in then by Steven Lorenz. Hustling after it was Dakota Joshua, but to no avail as it comes back, and the Hawks get it to the line and just out. To an open wing it goes, and Riley peppers it right back down into Chicago territory. Leafs on the boards. Joshua stood up his man. Puck comes to center and down into the Toronto end, but it has enough momentum to clear the goal line and bring about an icing charge against Chicago. I want to thank you and Jesse and everyone involved last night. I have very little skin left on me. I was roasted, pilloried, carved up, diced, and I'm just here in spirit only. Body has been taken apart.
And the good news is I got enough material for tomorrow night.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, it was wonderful. Your boys were great. Everybody just had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun and for a great cause.
It sure was. Hockey helps the homeless with all of the proceeds, which is terrific. Blackhawks back in their own zone. Oliver Moore dropping it back. And they'll play it out at center ice. Brought to the line by Nyes. Got around the defense. He's driving the net, and a goal. And a sprawling play by Connor Murphy. Knocked the puck away from Nyes just as he was getting into the slot area. Played back in on the right side. Roy getting it in front. Taken down in front of the net was the Leaf forward. No call. And the Blackhawks get it out at center and then overskate the disc. Now it'll come to the left wing side. Landon Slaggert sends it in. Wall out of the goal. Lost it in his feet, but was able to get some support. Now it comes in front, and Wall is going to cover up on that.
Well, with all due respect to Joseph Wall, puck handling has never been his strong suit. But he almost kicked one right back out in front of the net. I think he thought it was stuck under his pad.
I think he was a little afraid of that. There is no score, and you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, it's James Duffy for McAlpine Ford in Aurora. The best sales and service you will find anywhere.
Jimmy, step aside.
Oh, what are you doing? I'm recording the commercial.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
Holidays deserve Pepsi. Thanksgiving just got more refreshing and affordable. From November 15th through November 28th, Pepsi is serving up gratitude and savings just in time for the holidays. Find digital coupon savings by scanning codes in the Publix Extra Savings flyer or on the shelf signs found in the soda aisle. Need help? Visit customer service located at the store's entrance. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Leafs nothing and the Chicago Blackhawks nothing. Connor Bedard coming back over the boards. #1 overall pick a few years ago. And he, along with the team, have struggled a little bit, but the maturity is there now. And lots of talk about the Olympic team and how well he is playing, but
Macklin Celebrini
oh
as well
boy,
in
yeah.
San Jose.
Celebrini's been terrific. Here are the Hawks in their own zone. A pass up on the right wing, brought in over the line by Burakovsky, dropping it back for Bedard. Flipped it back to the point. Shot coming. I think a stick was broken on that. Was it? No, apparently not. Out at center ice it comes. Vlasic sending it right back in over the line. McCabe one-hands it ahead. Tavares cuts through neutral ice to the blue line and in. Trying to tip it off on the wing for Nylander, but it was poked to center ice, and Tavares has to go back to regroup. Morgan Rielly to his defense partner Myers. Sent into the zone by the Leaf. Into the corner and back of the net. Cutting it off was Lorenz. Off now for a long shot that is gloved by Spencer Knight off the stick of Yarncrook, and some after play shoving as Joshua is in there for the Maple Leafs. Nothing more developing.
Leafs really are a team trying to find their identity, right? Because right now, I mean, they're scoring some goals, but at the expense of defense. And you've got to figure out what are you. And I thought right off the bat last year, even though they lost game one, the regular season, 1-0 to Montreal. Remember, they had almost 50 shots on Montembeault, and Montreal lost the game, but then 1-2-1 in New Jersey the next night. And it was, well, that's what this team is. They're now defense first, and hopefully the offense comes through when you need it. And right now, they're struggling to find that balance.
Puck goes down into the Toronto zone. A bank pass to the line. Didn't get out. Hawks keep it in. Pass looking for Moore. And Moore gets it back to the point. Long shot, well wide of the goal. Bounces out in front of the net. Taken to safety by Steven Lorenz. And he starts back up ice. He'll get to the red line and fire it into the near corner. Grabbed off there by Grizzly. A point shot then on a turnover by McMahon was deflected wide of the goal by Spencer Knight. Leafs now with 3 shots on goal. The Blackhawks with 4. And another turnover allows the Leafs penetration into the offensive zone. McMahon, far corner, back to the point. Shot coming. It was blocked before it reached. And as it comes out at center ice, the Blackhawks get a turnover. Slaggert in on the right side, and a pass through the goal crease didn't result in any contact, but Kaiser has it around back of the Toronto goal into the far corner. Trying to pin it there. It comes free. Played back in along the wall. McCabe jumps to check in the corner. Back of the net, Foligno. Foligno turns. Bank pass back to the point. Back to Foligno coming out of the corner. His shot towards the net went wide. It's back of the goal. Battling for it is Landon Slaggert. Leafs are going to get it elevated, but not out. Kept in. Kaiser gets it around the boards. Bobby McMahon would do well to get it out on the wall, but he doesn't get it past the defense, and Foligno sends it right back in again. Myers can't come up with it in the corner. It's back of the net for Foligno coming out on the forehand, and that's up. He got a rebound. Another scramble in front of the goal. It's still free. Leafs can't get it out. Back to the blue line again. Kaiser off on the near side. Lavushnov holds and walks the line with it. They've gotten a change going for Chicago, and a pass in front. They score! Ryan Green ends a long siege for Chicago.
Now more of the same for the Leafs in their own end. Bobby McMahon, 2 chances in the right wing boards to get it out, was unable, under pressure both times, but still unable to move it 15 feet over the line. And eventually you end up with a tired group on the ice for the Leafs, and they get caught standing around. We've talked about this show before. For a lot of times for the Leafs, they look like it's a 5-man penalty kill. Everybody's collapsing back. You've got numbers in front, and nobody within 10 feet of the guy that puts it in the empty side of the net.
11:05, the time of the goal for the Blackhawks to open the scoring. And Green gets goal number 2 on the season.
And it's just amazing how you could have numbers back in front of your net, and the guy that passes the puck is wide open, and the guy that puts the puck in the net is wide open.
Blackhawks goal, his second of the season, scored by number 20, Ryan Green.
So it is 1-0. Blackhawks get another break just out of the reach of Bedard. And it is Toronto back in their own zone.
Blackhawks goal is second of the year, scored by Green, assisted by Lefshinov and Kaiser at 11:05.
Lefshinov gets the assist along with Kaiser. Turnover, and the Leafs bring it back with Roy getting it into the slot. Knocked off the stick of Cowan. The Leafs get it again, but can't get it away from the final defenseman. If Robertson does, he had Cowan all alone at the side of the net. Brought back by Colton Dock. He goes around back of the Toronto goal. Got it back. A bouncing puck to the side of the goal. Swatted wide of the net by Donato. Leafs have the puck now, and it's going to be elevated through center. Grabbed off nicely by Robertson. Robertson working on the blue line. Drops it back. And a long wrist shot taken by Mermis was easily deflected into the corner. Nylander back of the goal. Robertson is up against the wall fighting for possession against Ryan Donato. It comes free, and the Blackhawks send to an open wing. They'll get there first to get it out at center, and it is tipped down into the Toronto zone. Chicago won. The Maple Leafs no score. Bouncing puck and a turnover, and a shot kicked away by Wall. Nylander will get it down into Chicago territory. Back of the net. Levushnov got it to the blue line, but not out. Now the Leafs trying to get some forechecking going here. Trapped by Tavares on the right wing boards. Drop back for Nylander. Nylander circles back behind the goal, looking in front. Joshua was there, but he couldn't get him the puck, and then looked to try and find Tavares, but by then Tavares had headed for the bench looking for a change. Blackhawks will flip in, and they'll get a change going themselves. Round on the boards for Dakota Joshua. He can't get it past Oliver Moore. Moore is tied up in the corner. Puck still free. Grabbed off by the Leafs and played to an open wing, but carried by Jake McCabe into the zone. Played around the boards to the near side. Joshua rumbles into the corner to get it freed up for Lorenz. Back to the point. Long shot. Handled easily by Spencer Knight to stop play. With the Blackhawks leading in the game 1-0 on a goal by Ryan Green. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Hey, it's Joe Bowen. It's time to sell your car. What are you going to do? Sell it yourself online? Are you sure you want to deal with strangers and all the crazy offers? Dealers.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
Did you know that parents rank teaching financial literacy as the toughest life skill? That's where Greenlight comes in, the debit card and money app made for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and track spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn how to earn, save, and spend responsibly, while parents have peace of mind, knowing smart money habits are being built with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/try now. That's greenlight.com/try now.
Holidays deserve Pepsi. Thanksgiving just got more refreshing and affordable. From November 15th through November 28th, Pepsi is serving up gratitude and savings just in time for the holidays. Find digital coupon savings by scanning codes in the Publix Extra Savings flyer or on the shelf signs found in the soda aisle. Need help? Visit customer service located at the store's entrance. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Talked about how they needed to score first. They did that against LA. In fact, had the first 2 goals. And then sat back to the point where the Kings were able to come back. At least retook the lead 3-2. Then looked like they played 30 minutes of trying to defend the lead rather than pushing the puck back the other way.
Leafs didn't lose 4 in a row at all last year. In fact, the last time they've lost 5 consecutive games was back in 2021. Morgan Riley playing it around the boards to the near side. Roy finds the defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who retreats behind the goal to get it up on the wing. And here are the Leafs coming out of their own zone. Pass goes to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He has to chase it down in the corner after knocking it in off a Toronto player. Centering pass! What a chance! Nice head and a huge save by Spencer Knight. And the Blackhawks have set the puck down the ice. It will not have enough to go for icing.
Boy, easily the most dangerous chance for the Leafs in this period, similar to the one that Chicago scored on. Man found wide open on the far post, but Spencer Knight got over quickly.
Lead pass brought in now offside by the Maple Leafs, and it'll be brought back into the center ice area. Nye's taking a look at the scoreboard to see how. Oh, I don't think he touched it. I think he shot it wide, Jimmy, to be honest with you.
Well, he rolled off his stick. I know they put up the shots on goal, but for the Leafs, pretty good play, pretty good pass by Easton Cowan, though, Joe, from puck went around behind the net. Cowan got it, just a one-touch pass back out in front of the net towards the far post.
5:21 to go first period. Leafs have won the draw. Benoit fires it in. Knight couldn't trap it, but the Hawks are going to get it up on the wing, and they get it out at center. Bedard had it knocked off his stick on the back checking of Nylander. Now on the near side, Nylander with some skating room comes to center, looks to make a pass to Tavares. He had to put the brakes on because Willie didn't make the pass soon enough. Now Nylander getting it freed up for Robertson back of the net. Centered in front, Tavares got the shot away from his office space. But I think he kind of got the heel of the stick on it. He didn't get much on it, did he?
That might have gone off a Hawk stick as well, Joe. I think he kind of a jam shot. Sometimes when things are going great for your team, those go off his stick and up under the crossbar. But I think John Tavares just had a Hawk defenseman get in there and block it before it got to the goaltender.
100th anniversary of the Chicago Blackhawks. There are a lot of things going on and reminiscent of the old stadium and some of the great players Chicago has had over the years. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet99 is built in Canada by Canadians for Ontario players. In fact, Bet99 is so Canadian, it's an official partner of the NHL. Bet99 has more than 2,500 casino games.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/try now.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
You want it.
The Maple Leafs have scored 3 or more goals in 11 straight games, which is sort of the good news. The problem is they're giving up more than 3 or more as a point shot is swallowed up by goaltender Spencer Knight off his chest, taken by Dakota Mermis. Once again, we are the leader in Dakotas.
Yeah.
One plays north, one plays south. You used that earlier. I'm stealing it, and we'll never use it again.
Now I'm running into James Duffy. He said, I guess he put it on X and asked the question, has anybody used it yet?
No. Here's a shot from a sharp angle, and Knight swallows that up.
Somebody did reply that we had used it.
Oh, well, good.
Earlier. Yeah.
Nate, can't be stealing our stuff. It's just inappropriate. 1-0 in favor of the Blackhawks. And the face-off in the Chicago zone. 4:43 left to play in the period. Another point shot. Juggled this time by Knight. There was a nice rebound there, but no one could get to it. Now here's McMahon back of the goal. Got it in front of the net. Trying to get a shot away. He does. And Knight made the save. Good play made by Michelli to save the puck in front of the net for him and then get it off onto the side. Blackhawks get it ahead. Donato turns the puck over. Domi's right back in, shooting it in around the boards. Down on the far side, battling forward is Michelli, but he was bowled over. Murphy and Grzelcyk get it out. Brought right back in again by Willie. Nylander going wide and around back of the net. He goes to the far corner. Still with it to the point, a drive. No traffic in front. Tavares couldn't get there in time. Robertson's hard shot was still fairly easy pickings for Spencer Knight.
Yeah, no traffic in front when it came from rather long range. Bobby McMahon had a great opportunity on the spin around. Really didn't get a lot on that either, though, did he?
No.
Spencer Knight just went down and took it in the pads.
Leafs out shooting the Blackhawks now 10-8. Little victories.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good push since the Blackhawks opened the scoring.
Draw to the right in the Chicago zone. Nylander lost the face-off, but Robertson gets it back for him on the far half boards. Robertson stick handling in a phone booth, couldn't get it in front. Nylander trying to steal it back. And Willie has it on the far wing. Into the slot, Tavares turned, but his shot was blocked before it even got close to the net. Blackhawks bring it back, and it'll be shot by Vlasic into the Toronto end. Wall playing it back into the corner, and now it is brought out at center with a pass to Willie. Nylander gets it down into the corner. Change is coming for the rest of his mates. Nylander into the forecheck, but Chicago starts out with it with a bank pass that has gone nowhere, and it's going to be emphatic icing, as it were, coming all the way back into the Chicago zone with 3:17 to play in the period. 1-0 Hawks.
The thing is, as well, Joe, is Chicago's only great scoring chance down the back of the net. You know, you don't blame Joseph Wall on it, but I think the other 7 shots that he's faced were rather routine.
At the point, a drive wide of the goal by Jake McCabe. It goes around back of the net. Joshua to the point. McCabe another shot. That went off a leg. Now a shot from a sharp angle. That got through. And Knight had to stop that and then cover up on it. 3:03 to go in the first period. Face off again in the Chicago zone.
You mentioned Chicago comes in pretty good stretch. Last game was an overtime loss to the New Jersey Devils at home, but 3-0-1 in their last 4. Before that, they had won just 1 of their previous 5. They also had a 6-game road trip. They finished above water 3-2-1 in that stretch.
Leafs control the face-off. Ottawa getting it along the boards, trying to outfight his man. Reverses again against Bedard. Ottawa centers in front. Quick shot there and a rebound. And it was knocked away nicely by Knight. Some good work there by Ottawa, using his size to outbattle Bedard for the loose puck in the Chicago zone. Down into the Toronto end. Cowan able to get it out at center in a foot race here that Nyes doesn't win. Now Cowan and Ottawa breaking it up, and Cowan sends it down into the Chicago zone. Both teams changing. Kaiser got it out at center. Blackhawks, Bedard in across the line, left wing side. Shot taken. His stick explodes. Leafs get it up on the left wing, but they don't get it out. And Bedard had to go to the bench for a new stick, which saved the Maple Leafs on that occasion. Domi getting it into the offensive zone. Nyes back of the net. McMahon trying to get it freed up. He did. Domi was in front, but they didn't get him the puck. Brought back at center ice by Sam Lafferty. Lafferty will play it down into the Toronto end. Bouncing puck along the boards for Foligno. Back of the net. Cut off there by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but the battle ensues. It comes free to Foligno. Back to the point. Long shot. Blockered into the corner nicely by Joseph Wall. Foligno back of the goal. The captain of the Blackhawks got it freed up. It comes back to the point again. Grzelcyk to the defense partner, and a shot blocked in front. The Leafs are going to get it out into the center ice area. Both teams trying to get a change as it's backhanded into the Toronto end. A lot of debris out on the ice.
Yeah, there's got 2 sticks have snapped. All in front of the Leaf net.
Murma sends it into the Chicago end. Settled down and cleared off the boards by Spencer Knight. And it'll force Benoit back to his own blue line. Played ahead on the wing. Less than a minute to go in the period. Down into the corner. Crevier trying to get it in front. Back of the net. Tavares wraparound. Stop. Rebound. They score! Nicky Robertson cleaning up some of the garbage in front of the net after Tavares got the wraparound attempt. And in the final minute of the first period, the Leafs have tied the game at ones.
The Leafs have outshot Chicago 9-2 since the Hawks opened the scoring. And here this was all Robertson's work in the corner to the right of Spencer Knight. Threw it behind the net to John Tavares. And Tavares tries the wraparound out the other side. Spencer Knight stopped it. And Joe, it looked like when Spencer Knight then tried to clear the rebound with his stick, he put it right onto the tape of Nick Robertson, who kind of stuffed it home blocker side. But for Nick Robertson, you know, for a guy that was on the bubble coming out of training camp, that's now 10 points for him in his last 11 games.
5th goal of the season comes at 19-12 of the period. Tavares will get 1 assist. Leafs back in the offensive end. Yarncrook couldn't come up with it. Chases his man along the boards, trying to pin the defenseman. The puck comes free, and now Dakota Joshua trying to get to the area back of the goal, collided with the post on the far side, dislodging the net. And so a face-off will come depending on who is adjudicated to have caused the disruption, either inside or outside the Chicago blue line. But Nick Robertson tying the game. And John Tavares, what can you say about his season so far? 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points.
And even, you know, in his last 5 games coming in, 5 goals, 7 points. So throw an assist onto that.
This is the 19th game of the season, and John Tavares is sailing along at a better than point per game.
I think faceoff is coming outside the Leaf line, or outside the Chicago line, and Craig Berube's arguing where the faceoff should be.
Well, this is the first time we get to see Wes McCauley work, and Grady Hamilton is his equal in the referee department. Dan Kelly and Tommy Hughes are the linesmen tonight. Hawks get it to center ice. 10 seconds left in the period. Cleared into the zone. Punched along the wall by Joseph Wall. And the Leafs will get it out. Not much time left. Brought to the line and in. And Tavares backhanding it into the corner. Has the horn and play in the first period.
And really, Joe, the turning point seemed to be the Chicago goal. I mean, the Leafs were doing nothing offensively. I believe they only had 3 or 4 shots on goal at the time that the Blackhawks opened the scoring. And then slowly they started to get in on the forecheck. They started to force some turnovers. Nothing pretty. No odd man rushes, but started to get some chances. And it was Nick Robertson, a bit of a gift, because Spencer Knight, as we said, kind of fanned on clearing it away after he stopped John Tavares on the wraparound and just put it on a tee for Nick Robertson and chipped it home. So, but it shows you spend more time at the end of the ice. You're going to get your breaks. And I really liked the second half of that period from a Leaf standpoint.
1-1 the score, and lots to talk about. Anthony Stewart to join Jim Taddy You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pizza lovers know sometimes you need more than a medium. So 2-for-1 Pizza offers their large 2-topping pizza special. 2 delicious toppings, 1 large pizza for just...
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
On the road to next summer's historic FIFA World Cup, TSN puts you on the pitch.
Not sure if they come any bigger than this.
Insight, analysis, and everything World Cup. Park the Bus podcast every Tuesday. Available on TSN's YouTube channel.
Yes, I love this game.
iXL is actually a learning app that helps them excel in math, science, language arts, even social studies. But it's so fun, my kiddo calls it a game.
Yes, I'm crushing it.
Yeah, you are. He loves the awards and motivating feedback on iXL. It's one of his favorite things to do after school. He loves the challenge. I love the results.
Yes.
iXL, the learning program 16 million students trust. Try it today at IXL.com.
Calvin Gilmore's Carolina Opry Christmas Special, now in its 40th anniversary season, is the Christmas show of the South. A cherished family tradition, this dazzling production welcomes back Moses Braxton and Delvin Choice, joined by 35 of the nation's top artists and the renowned Calvin Gilmore Orchestra in the stunning Carolina Opry Theater, glowing with miles of Christmas lights. Come home for Christmas at the Carolina Opry. Show's now running. Book today.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
At Homewood Metalworks, we provide locally manufactured, energy-efficient, top-of-the-line metal and steel products and services. We also construct residential and commercial metal buildings, offering you a complete turnkey solution. Stop by any of our 4 locations or visit homewoodmetalworks.com.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you. Black Friday deals are going on all month long. Shop up to 45% off with minimum purchase, plus a free professional measure right now at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
3.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Down into the corner. Previer trying to get it in front. Back of the net. Tavares wraparound. Stop. Rebound. They score! Nicky Robertson cleaning up some of the garbage in front of the net after Tavares got the wraparound attempt. And in the final minute of the first period, the Leafs have tied the game at 1s.
And that's where we stand after 20 minutes. Leafs 1, Chicago 1. After 20 minutes is brought to you by Subaru. This fall, uncommon comes standard. Jim Taddy, former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. And Stu, Ralphie summed it up so nicely we could do a tap dance for the next 10 minutes. I mean, that goal goes in by Chicago, and then slowly but surely, shift by shift, and it wasn't like, here's the turning point. They just seemed to start doing little things, and that would describe that goal, wouldn't it?
Yes, and we discussed in the pregame show, there's no magic formula or no secret sauce to, coming in and getting the train back on the track here. It's just simplistic, hard work. And that goal was no fluke, as, they put together 6-7 shifts. I think out of the final 8 shifts of the period, they probably won 6 or 7 of them. And it just is advancing the puck, getting it along the wall, cycling pucks, and just sort of wearing down your opposition. And eventually they're going to break down and find a hole in the defensive scheme. And that's exactly what happened. So great job by Tavares and just sort of getting the wraparound. But Robertson, who starts off on the wall in the far corner. He drives the net. I think he literally just drove the net and it just went off his stick. And those are the goals that you're going to have to score that rallies the team around. So again, not the greatest start. They did get hemmed in their end for a couple times, but they found a way to finish the period strong. And that is something that you can now hang your hat on, saying, guys, that's what we need. See, we're getting rewarded for this hard work. We got to continue it going into the second and the third period.
And the funny thing about doing the hard work and the little things is at the end of the period, you can look back. I mean, they had 15 shots on goal their last game. They had 14 in the first period.
Yeah, they did. And again, I was keeping track of the stats and the shots specifically. And I believe the shots for Chicago were maybe 8-4, 8-5. And then Toronto finished off getting, I think, 9. They finished off 9-2 in that third period in the last 5-6 minutes of that period. So again, just the volume. And that's what it is. And at the beginning of the period, they were coming in and trying to, over-possess the puck or drive. You saw Matthew Nyes go to his backhand, to his forehand, as opposed to just firing the puck. And again, Knight is one of those goalies. If he sees it, he's going to stop it. He's big, he's athletic, he's rangy, he can move across the crease. You got to just beat those goalies with volume and getting to the net and taking away their time and space. So in the shot department now, they're on track now for 40 shots. You want to start scoring goals or winning games or putting the teams on their heels, you got to continue with that volume.
So the line, do something, do anything, sort of applies there, and they did, and they had to, because that Chicago goal was not inspirational at all from a Leaf standpoint. They just stood around, and for whatever reason, Myers drifted, and he got burned.
Yeah, and again, that's been a similar story for some of the defensemen there. And they tell you when you're lost in the zone, they tell you to retreat to the house, not drift sort of off into the corner. But trust me, I've been in that situation before where you're almost so tired, you're like, you don't care if the team scores. You just got to get off the ice. Your mind literally plays tricks on you. But you got to just retreat back to the house. You got to find ways to block shots, get in lanes. And that's another thing. I think 2 block shots only for Toronto there. So especially when you have Wall coming back in, he's been dialed in the entire period. You can't fault him on that goal too. He seems like he's tracking it really, really well too. So a small falter, but I'll tell you this: the Domi line, the very next shift, they came back out there, and I think they were the catalyst to start that 5-6 shift, fury there by getting back in on the opposition and starting the forecheck and the cycle wall play too. So they made the mistake, but they found a way to recover, and that's what it's all about.
And I agree with your observation on Wall. He looks like, to us anyway, from a distance, that he's seeing the puck and he's moving well.
He is, and you could see from Chicago they want to go from east to west, from behind the net, and then try to find a pop-out play, get him moving, and trying to find him, losing sight of the puck. But he's doing a good job of tracking the puck. He's almost like Stolarz, where he's in the way. He's not trying to, make any unnecessary movements in the crease. He seems confident. Some of those pucks are going right into his glove, so he's in front of the puck, tracking it really, really well, and he's moving well, right? So again, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought he'd be a little bit rusty, and on that goal, I'm sure maybe he wanted to get across a little bit more earlier to get square to the puck, but you can't fault him on that. Wow. As the team was sort of hemmed in for 2 days there too. But through 20 minutes, if I'm Craig Berube, I'm really, really happy with the goaltending in Wall's first game of the season.
I mean, Green was parked. In fact, I think there was a meter maid going to give him a parking ticket if he didn't move.
Exactly. But I can't laugh because I've been on the video and the coach is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm tired, coach." So I know that's not an excuse, and as a fan, you don't want to hear that. But I've been there, and again, that's a situation where maybe you got to block a shot or exaggerate a stick in the lane or find a way to retrieve that puck. But again, it's tiring out there, and but again, I like the response. I like the 6-7 shifts right after that, after the mistake. It's not about the mistake; it's what you do to correct it. And the Leafs, to a man, did a good job in bailing Wall out that period.
Well, and timing is everything. Both these teams struggled in the second period. So if you could build going into the intermission between the first and second period, that's probably a good thing.
Absolutely, and I'm not a betting man, so I'm not sure, but I'll pick the under. I'll go with the under here, Tats, here too. But again, you got to watch Bedard. Bedard sort of been getting some easy entries and transporting the puck. They stressed out the zone a couple times too. Do not turn into a track meet. They did a good job in that first period, slowing the game down, getting it into the wall, getting into almost like a dirty boxing style game. Keep that going up for the final 40 plus.
Now, you talked about the Domi line sort of igniting or starting the shifting the momentum in the other direction. I really like the Cowan and Nyes line.
Yeah, they're looking good. And Nyes actually had a couple opportunities to score. Wall won a great wall battle, twisting and turning, a little pop-out pass to Cowan, who almost scored his second of the year, too. So they're getting in on their horse. They're forechecking. They're turning pucks over. They're punching out their weight class, which is great to see. And, again, it's contagious. Everyone else now is sort of mimicking that line as they have success through the first 20.
Stu, thanks very much. Leafs and Hawks tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen.
Hey, Tom Selleck here. I believe one of the most important things you can have in this life is freedom. Freedom to live your life the way you want. That's why for generations, millions of Americans have turned to gold and silver for their financial freedom. I had a friend tell me about Goldco, and it turned out they were just what I was looking for. If you want to learn more, visit TomLikesGoldco.com. I think you should give them a try. That's TomLikesGoldco.com.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at NovantHealth.org/weight loss now. That's NovantHealth.org/weight loss now.
Get started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Call 1-800-353-6013. That's 1-800-353-6013. Again, 1-800-353-6013.
Hockey. It's taken over our basements, our driveways, and our backyards. And at Rona,
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to AveloAir.com.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/try now.
Minnesota.com. 12 other games. Here's what we have. Third period, Minnesota 1-0 over the Ducks. All of these are in the second. Detroit 3-1 over the Sabres. Rangers and Jackets are scoreless. Montreal and Boston tied at 1. Devils 2-0 over the Capitals. Kings 1-0 over the Senators. And the Oilers and Canes tied at 2. In the first period, Flyers and Stars are scoreless. Also in the first, Golden Knights and Blues are scoreless. Earlier today, Lightning 3-1 over the Panthers. At 10 o'clock, Sharks in Seattle. And the Jets in Calgary against the Flames. In our game, 1-1. Leafs and Hawks after 20 minutes of play. Oh, yes, Guy. The second period is next. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey continues on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, it's Joe Bowen. It's time to sell your car. What are you going to do? Sell it yourself online? Are you sure you want to deal with strangers and all the crazy offers? Dealership?
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at NovantHealth.org/weight loss now. That's NovantHealth.org/weight loss now.
Did you know that parents rank teaching financial literacy as the toughest life skill? That's where Greenlight comes in, the debit card and money app made for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and track spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn how to earn, save, and spend responsibly, while parents have peace of mind, knowing smart money habits are being built with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/try now. That's greenlight.com/try now.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
50, everywhere you want it.
Nicky Robertson's goal in the final minute of the first period has the teams deadlocked at a goal apiece. The Leafs out shooting Chicago 14-10 in the first 20 minutes of play. No penalties called in the first period. And the shots, I think I'm repeating myself, but we're 14-10. And that in itself
is an improvement, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. They got Darren Pang between the benches, your buddy.
Oh, got a text from a little earlier.
Did you?
Let me know.
That's not nice.
Yeah, well,
you can't say little.
Oh, yeah.
And then have Panger be involved in it. That's just inappropriate, Mr. Al.
Tiny text from him. The diminutive.
The diminutive text, yes, okay. Leafs to the right, Blackhawks to the left, and a shoot-in has caromed off the dasher board and gone up into the screen.
Well, between John Tavares and Nick Robertson, 5 shots on goal for that line in the opening period. Oliver Ekman-Larsson also had 3. And who we got? Bobby McMahon had a couple. And Nick Foligno had 3 for Chicago, 3 of their 10 shots.
Puck back in the Toronto zone. Played off on the wing and deflected out at center, but then shot back down into the Toronto end. Oliver Ekman-Larsson got it on the boards, and Nyes is able to chip it out down the ice, but it won't have enough to go for icing. Hawks back after it. Grizzlick, the former Bruin, getting it along the boards, and Foligno trying to help him out, plays it up on the left wing. Blackhawks get to center. Slaggert got it in over the line, and the linesman says that was offside. So it'll be brought back into the center ice area. Leafs back home. Next, the St. Louis Blues here on Tuesday night.
Back home Tuesday, Thursday. But the road is beckoning, isn't it?
It is going to get caught up one way or the other, and it'll be a lot of them in a row.
I mean, a big plus would be finally getting Austin Matthews, Chris Tanev, some of your big guys back. Anthony Stolarz. You lose your number 1 goalie, forward, and defenseman all at the same time. It's going to be a struggle.
Down into the Chicago zone. Bedard dropping it back. He wheels up through neutral ice, but the pass comes off onto the right wing side. Previer gets it down into the Leaf zone. Back of the net. On the boards, Benoit chipped along. Nylander couldn't get there to trap it. Played by Robertson to the line, but not out. Pass into the slot area, and fanning on it completely was Ryan Green, and Nylander picks his pocket to bring it down into the zone. Pass onto the wing, Robertson looked to make it back to the point, and fanning on that completely was the Leaf defense. And now a quick pass to center, but good play made there by Myers to catch his man, who looked like he might have been away to a breakaway, but it may have been at the end of the shift that just prevented that from happening.
And it was Meyer that fanned on the shot that caused the turnover.
Hawks in on the left wing. Trying to drive was Moore, but he turns back, gets it to the point. Here's Kaiser to the near side, trying to work in his Levshanov, and he couldn't get the shot away. Back it comes to Teravainen. Point shot, and that was kicked away nicely by Wall. Hawks into the offensive cycle. Kaiser getting it back behind the net. Trying to come out is Nazar. Back to the blue line once more. D to D once more. Hawks working it in. Levshanov into the far boards. Comes off the wing and on goal. And it is caught up by Wall as he tried to flip it into the goal crease area. And a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Much needed face-off, I might add.
Yeah, Leafs get caught out on a long shift, and that's been part of the problem, Joe, with their defensive play. Like you said, they spend so much time in your own end that a lot of times what you do, if you get about the 25, 30-second mark, and then you get the puck to center, you're going, well, we've got the puck, let's try it. And if you turn it over, back you come again, and all of a sudden, the second time in your own end, you're running on fumes.
Burakovsky was the one that had to look like was going to be a partial breakaway or a full breakaway. Hawks win the face-off and control the puck. Kaiser down the left wing, cutting for the front of the net. Round back of the goal he goes, centering pass off a Toronto stick, and it's out into the center ice area.
The good read by Simon Benoit to get a stick on it.
Hawks turn the puck over at the red line. Pushed in over the line by Dakota Joshua. He's able to outfight his man to get it free. Got it back. Then fanned on the shot complete. Then it comes in front, and Domi was trying to get a shot away, and he got lifted off his skates.
Ryan Donato was the one who reacted when the puck came out front to Max Domi. Domi looked like he was going to get a pretty good opportunity, but was taken down by the Hawks forward, and the Leafs will go to their first power play of the night. This will be a trip.
Brought to you by Subaru. This fall, uncommon comes standard in Subaru. Leafs are 8 of 47, 24th in the league in proficiency, 17% on the power play.
Hawks have killed 11 of 11 in the last 4 games coming in.
Puck goes around back of the goal and is swung up on the right side. Nylander couldn't get to it. Hawks bring it in on the left wing, working into the slot. Stick lifted partially there by Tavares, and then the puck is turned over, and turning with it is Cowan. He'll drop it back, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson will take it around back of the net and start up ice. He'll look to drop it back and glance over his shoulder, and he'll find Cowan. Easton Cowan thinking about doing likewise to Nylander. Nylander gains the zone, had it knocked off his stick as it looked like he might get through the box, and it's shot down the ice by Chicago. OEL starts back up ice. Drops it back. Foligno couldn't get a stick on it. Cowan coming to center ice. Drops it again. Nylander to Cowan. And he stood up a little bit at the blue line, and Nyes had roared in on the left wing thinking that the zone had been acquired. And it is offside with 1:08 to go in the penalty.
I do like the thought of you bring Easton Cowan back up, get him out in the #1 power play unit, but I tell you, Nick Robertson might be my first choice to have out there, the way he has played of late.
Well, he's out there now in the second unit with Roy. Bouncing shot goes down in on goal, then thrown aside haphazardly by Wall. That's drawn a crowd as Foligno was able to knock it away, but now Riley has it in his own zone. Morgan Riley coming out at center, carries to the line, fanned on a pass. Blackhawks get it again. Riley, the defenseman, is trapped, and here the Blackhawks back in, but turning back to center ice is Ilya Mikheyev to try and kill off more time.
And Riley actually broke his stick coming over the line.
Turnover almost at the blue line, but it gets ahead. Frank Nazar in on the left wing, being checked by Robertson. And Riley, with a new cue, is able to bring it out, and Robertson's going to carry past one man and down the left wing. Slid it in and then was tackled from behind. He complains to the official about the lack of a call, and it's cleared ahead, and now here the Hawks in over the line with a shot that wired over top of the goal. Final seconds ticking down, and a centering pass there to Teravainen was deflected back into the far corner. Penalty expires without the Leafs getting a single shot on goal. And as it's cleared in, it goes off the stick of Michelli and up into the crowd and out of play with 14:59 to play in the first period, tied at 1.
How much zone time do you think they had? Puck possession in the Chicago end, 15 seconds?
Oh, you'd be very generous.
Yeah.
Very generous. I think if you said 15, I think closer to 10.
He's just, as you said, 8 for 48 now on the power play this year. 24th in the league coming in. That's where Chicago's been good. 5th at the power play, 8th on the penalty kill on the season.
110 combined percent of time that they've killed things off or scored. And that, if you get to 100 by adding the two together, you've got pretty good special teams, I think. Fired down into the Chicago zone. Nylander against the boards. Tavares had it on his stick, but it was knocked away, and the Blackhawks get it out at center ice and to the line and in. A drop pass for Kaiser into the slot area. Back to an open net. That went off the goal post, and it's out at center, and Nylander's racing away. Nylander a breakaway and a goal! Shot it wide as Knight went across and got a pad out. Tavares looking for an opening in front. He did, and that was knocked away before Blake could find the back of the net. Bedard counterattacks. Works in on the right side, a pass in on goal. Big save made by Wall's right pad. They're going end to end, and things have really opened up. Here's Yarncrook dropping to a man coming off the bench. That was Lorenz. Gets it back at the net for Steven Lorenz. Centered in front. Good pad save made by Knight. Oliver Ekman-Larsson back to the point. Yarncrook to the far side. Wrist shot coming, but it's wide. Yarncrook getting it back to Oliver Ekman-Larsson again. Far side, kept in by Myers. Back of the goal for Lorenz. Lorenz controls. Got it to his forward, and McMahon, who centers in front of the goal. That was mishandled by Knight, and the Leafs almost had a glorious chance, and things have just opened up here like someone turned the faucet on, and the water is flowing out.
Boy, what a huge stop, though, by Joseph Wall. Joe, you mentioned going end to end. He made the most difficult stop of either goaltender on that stretch.
Mermis gets it in over the line. A bouncing puck goes back at the net. Cowan unable to get to it in time. Blackhawks trying to send it back along the boards. Donato, and he'll find his defenseman Alex Vlasic to get it out. Blackhawks regrouping, carried on by Crevier and sent down into the Toronto zone. Puck on the far side. Donato coming in front of the net. A shot that hit the goal post. The puck is back in the net. It may have hit the crossbar. Back to the point again. A shot that goes wide. Around the boards it goes to the far side. Donato trapping. Back into the corner. Domi slow to get there. The puck has gone high off his stick though, and into the screen and out of play. Wow, there was about 4 minutes of end-to-end action there.
Well, and when it comes to actual shots on goal, what we're seeing in the shots on goal board, I mean, the Leafs have to have something, right? As far as shots?
Yeah.
Right now, they've got Chicago out shooting the Leafs 6-0 here in the second period.
Wow.
Well, there were a couple of toe saves by Spencer Knight. Oh, yeah. Mikheyev, puck went off the crossbar, up into his chest at the side of the net. And when it dropped, he was just unable to sweep it in.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Conestoga Farms, our eggs are more than just eggs. They're a promise from local farmers to you.
Local is near and dear to my heart.
Local means for...
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
Krabs has moved. Come by and check out our new location, filled with 18 different models of lift chairs and tons of power mobility equipment. At Coastal Respiratory and Brace Store, our walls are full of any type of brace to help ease those daily pains you're experiencing. We also have the biggest selection of medical-grade compression stockings on the Grand Strand, Stop by our new location in the Lowe's Home Improvement Shopping Plaza by Aldi's and let us show you what a difference we can make for you. Coastal Respiratory and Brace Store, where 5-star service is our guarantee.
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24, yup, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to aveloair.com.
Been credited with a shot on goal. Here's Nyes coming out of the zone with a pass on the left wing for Benoit. Did he get to center ice to shoot it in? Apparently so. Maybe because the goaltender came out to play it, though, as the linesman waved it off. Puck down in the Blackhawk end, and it'll be played up on the wing, and Teravainen dishes it off. Brought on now by Levshunov. He couldn't get in cleanly. The puck in the far corner. McCabe had his man tied up, but it comes back to the point. Levshunov with it again to the defense. A long shot goes high and off a stick and into the near corner. Leafs have it and get it ahead, but Cowan doesn't get it out. It's around on the far side. Benoit late getting there. Puck goes free, and it's Nyes protecting it well and getting it to center, and across the line it comes. A pass in for Cowan! And that one off the goalpost, I think. Cowan with it again. What a great scoring chance in front of the net. Morgan Riley off both goal posts this time. Bells of St. Mary's are going off in behind these goaltenders. Puck in the Chicago zone. They've credited the Leafs with one shot. It comes off on the near boards. Riley with it again. Looking in front. Goes around the boards to find Tavares. Tavares stops it up. Flips it into the corner for Willie. Nylander gets it around back of the net. Pinching down OEL to try and keep it alive, and Nylander steals back of the goal. Nylander trying to get it back to the point and has. Riley walks the line. Back to Nylander. Wrist shot into the slot area. Tavares drops it back. Nylander circling the net with it again. Centered in front. Tavares whacking at another shot. How did that not go in from Robertson? Leafs pressing. Nylander, far side. OEL coming out of the slot. Drops for Willie again. Nylander centers. Tavares couldn't deflect it home. Again, the Leafs all over them. Nylander plays it off to OEL. Closing shot. Rebound. Scores! Morgan Riley makes it a 2-1 game after an enormous shift and enormous pressure on the Blackhawks.
And that was about 1:10. The Leafs hemmed the Blackhawks in their own zone. Long change of the second period. But boy, the opportunities before this went in. Easton Cowan just missed the net short side. Then Morgan Riley clanks one off the post, short side. And then Nick Robertson, a great chance from about 10 feet out, misses the net. And then finally, Morgan Riley jumping in from the left point gets his second great opportunity of the shift, and a fortunate bounce off a skate of John Tavares, off the defenseman, and Morgan Riley jumping down from the left point. And this is where it's smart, Joe, to jump down, is they're out of gas. So if there is an odd man rush the other way, you should have a little more juice. We got a delay going on here.
Chicago is challenging for a missed game stoppage on a high stick.
Well, the challenge is a missed game stoppage on a high stick. And I'm not sure where that occurred. Would that have been maybe after the Robertson opportunity?
It might have. The goal would come at 9:37.
We're watching. Oh, Willie Nylander. Boy, that might have been a high stick. Willie Nylander knocking it down, although that's tough to tell from there. The one angle we've seen. Puck had hopped up on the right wing boards. Nylander skating by, knocked it down, and then was able to keep it in and circle back. And I guess what they're saying is whistle should have gone right away.
Teravainen was right there when Willie got the stick, and it's what has to be adjudicated is, was it above his shoulders? The Blackhawks believe that it was, and as you look at it here, yeah, I think
That's
it was.
pretty close.
Yep.
That's just the way things have been going, haven't it? Now, I mean, I think he gets it on the bottom of the blade, though. So was the blade, you know what I mean? It wasn't.
I mean, it was almost, he almost high stick Teravainen as he went by him after getting the puck. So they are looking at it at Command Central here in Toronto, down at off Bay Street.
And it is one of the more difficult calls to make because you're looking for camera angles, right? And there is one in the corner to the right. Look at it one more time. You see, the funny thing is his shoulder comes up with the stick, right?
And you can't use Teravainen as the measuring rod because he's bent over. It's Willie who's standing straight up.
Now, technically, it does look like Nylander catches the top of Teravainen's helmet, too, doesn't he?
But again, Teravainen was lower than Nylander's 6'2" frame.
But you see how Nylander's kind of jumping up?
Well,
I mean, really.
He's on his skates. He's extending his body, no question about that. So his shoulder level is higher. Here we are.
After reviewing the play, the call on the ice is confirmed. We have no high stick. Therefore, we have a goal.
Boy, Leafs got a break here. Where have these been for 17 games? I mean, that's a pretty good case. And like I said, if, by the letter of the law, even if they're saying he didn't high stick the puck down and trying to put it past Teravainen, it looks like he catches the top of Teravainen's helmet, right? Which is, it's high sticking. So the Leafs,
however,
get the goal.
That's not what they
asked.
Well, and the call wasn't made anyway, right? Yeah.
And that can't challenge.
But what you're saying is that there are two pieces of good fortune.
But you can't challenge a high stick.
No.
On a player.
Yes. So the Leafs take the lead for the first time. Morgan Rielly's third goal of the season.
Then they get the break with the delay to get Nylander and Tavares and everybody rested up again.
Yep, and Cowan will be out here. And it's a power play for Toronto as a result of the challenge that didn't work. And so the power play brought to you by Subaru. This fall, uncommon comes standard. Shot down into the Toronto zone. And out comes Oliver Ekman-Larsson, moving right to left on your radio dial. Brought center ice by Cowan. Cowan has Nylander trailing. He flips the puck in, hustles in after it, swept it back to the blue line, kept in by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Far side Tavares along the boards, and back it goes to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Near side to Nylander. Nylander works into the slot area. Challenged as it goes to Nyes. Nyes back at the net for Cowan on the far half boards. Back to the blue line. Quickly played in front of the net. Tavares couldn't get a shot. Oh, he's going to ring the boards with it. Good puck possession by the Leafs, but nothing delivered to the net as yet. Now Tavares back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson to Nylander, closing with a pass instead of a shot. It comes back to the blue line off a stick. Cross ice for Cowan. Back to OEL, now to Willie. Nylander closing, down low, centering past Tavares. And it was knocked away. And the Blackhawks will skate it out at center with Mikheyev. Mikheyev with a shot, and that was well wide of the goal. Played down into the Chicago end.
Blackhawks very high pressure on the penalty kill. So you got to move it quick and accurate.
Down the ice they send it. Morgan Rielly back to retrieve it. Outfought the forecheck and now starts out of his own zone. 34 seconds left to go in the power play. Second unit for Toronto. Domi up on the right side. Got it flipped back at the net. Robertson trying to poke it along the boards. It got to Michelli. Michelli back along the wall, back to the blue line. It comes from Roy to the far side to Domi, back to Morgan Rielly. Wrist shot coming, and it is swallowed up by the glove of the goaltender, and Spencer Knight will stop play to bring a face-off in the Chicago zone with 13 seconds left to play in the power play. The Leafs leading 2-1. Even in shots on goal now at 17 apiece with 8:36 to go in the second.
Leafs up 2-0 on power plays as well. Although when you're figuring out evening things up, I think a coach's challenge doesn't really fall into the box when it's a delay a game call after an unsuccessful challenge.
Face off to the left of the Chicago goal, won by the Hawks. Previer gets it around the boards and out and down the ice. Riley circles the goal and starts back. Penalty will expire as he hits the blue line. Fed in on the right wing side. Roy stops up on his backhand, gets to his forehand with a spinning move. Played it to Nick Robertson, who sends it back into the corner. Roy was first there, but Michelli trying to add some forechecking presence on the boards. Blasts his man to the wall there with a pretty good hit as Previer was taken down. They're still battling on the boards. The puck does come free. Leafs get there with Yarncrook doing a good job to hustle after it. Now Michelli and Yarncrook play it around to the other corner, forcing Kaiser into the corner. That's got another scrum going. Now Kaiser's lost his helmet. He's got to get it back on to stay on, and the puck comes back along the boards for Roy. Kaiser still with it. Leafs are after it again. Playing it back on the boards. Grabbed by the Blackhawks. Yarncrook chases, but Chicago in need of a change gets it out. And they'll get it to the red line and get it deep into the Toronto zone to afford that change. 7:18 to play, second period. The Leafs leading 2-1. Out of the net, Knight. Played up on the wing, Bedard drags it along. Bedard with a move at the blue line, trying to get around Dakota and Mermis, and that was knocked away. Puck into the corner after it. Mermis getting it elevated high, just over the reach of one of the defensemen, but it was being backed up, but they're going to call this a glove pass, I believe.
I tell you, give the Leafs credit on it. They've been much, much stronger on the forecheck. And it didn't start till about the midway mark of the opening period. But
after the goal,
carry it through, yeah. Once they went down 1-0. And let's also circle that huge stop by Joseph Wall when the game was still tied at 1.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Head to Maple Toyota to test drive the leader in hybrid design and technology, the Toyota Prius. This plug-in hybrid can go up to 72 kilometers on battery alone, then seamlessly...
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to aveloair.com.
This season, everyone deserves a little more, and Mazda delivers with the extended driving range of the CX-50 Hybrid, so you can spend more time together. Standard all-wheel drive in every Mazda CUV, including the CX-5, and room to bring everyone with 3-row seating in the CX-90. Find more reasons to celebrate the season at the Mazda More to Move You sales event.
Every Mazda SUV offers you an elevated driving experience and refined performance. Discover it at Beach Mazda.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
Everywhere you want it.
Leafs 2, Blackhawks 1, second period. From the United Center in Chicago. One of the few rinks that has maintained the same name since its inception.
Yeah, since Chicago Stadium, right? That's maintained. One of the world's, now I believe it's the world's busiest airport, is it not?
If it isn't, it's a real close second. Draw won by Toronto. Got in and rolled to the net, scooped aside. Back of the goal, stolen by Nylander. Oh, he flipped it out in front, but Robertson couldn't get a stick on it. Now Tavares has kept it in. Nylander in the far corner reverses the puck back of the net. Robertson unable to get to it. Tavares does. Robertson on the boards, can't keep it in. Cleared down the wall and into Leaf territory, forcing McCabe back. And back of the net, he plays it for Benoit, who swings it around the boards. And Tavares can't get it out. Now Joseph Wall plays it away from traffic as it comes up on the near wing. And a turnover here brought back in by Oliver Moore. And that was blocked away by Wall. McCabe had an ample opportunity to move the puck. And then kind of a half-hearted pass that was picked off. Hawks back in their own zone. 5:55 to play in the second. Leafs up a goal. Blackhawks back in their own zone. On the wing for Vlasic. Vlasic carries back. Chased there by Cowan. Vlasic gets it ahead. Brought to the line and in. Pass on to the left wing side. He's got Bedard in front of the net, and the pass went right by him, but I think a penalty's coming to Toronto. What a chance Bedard had, but he could not handle that pass out of the corner.
It was Morgan Riley, wasn't it, that sort of went down and forced the pass to be saucered over his stick. And it did not land flat enough for Bedard. It looks like Easton Cowan is the guilty party for the Leafs. It'll give the it's going to be a slash. Maybe four of them. But one of them was deemed severe enough to have Chicago go in their first power play of the night.
We'll be back with it. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around in the cups and fridges.
Penske is the trusted source for reliable, quality used trucks. Whether you search our website, visit one of our retail locations, or bid at our online auction, you are sure to find the right used truck at the right price for your business. We offer tools to help you gather the information you need to make a smart purchase. And our vehicles are backed by a solid service history, so you can be confident the truck you buy is ready to work for you. Visit PenskeUsedTrucks.com to view our inventory and learn more.
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24, yup, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to AveloAir.com.
Power play that is ranked 5th in the National Hockey League, 13 of 50, and they are 6 of 13 in their last 5 games, I believe, Mr. Ralph.
6 of 10 in their last 4, and that included a 3-for-3 power play game against the Red Wings.
Bedard, a little toe drag move, got it in front of the net, knocked down in back of the goal by Wall, and cleared by the Maple Leafs and out into the center ice area it'll go. Levshanov gets it down into the Toronto zone, but it's a pass that was not connected with. Turns into an icing and brought back into the Chicago end of the rink. A little toe drag move. And
yeah, but it was Nick Waugh was the one that reached back. And it almost handcuffed Joseph Wall, right? It was sort of a wobbler that came in and very nearly snuck under the blocking arm of Wall. By the way, Easton Cowan, Joe, his first NHL penalty taken on that slash. He actually, in his 2 games with the Marlies, had a minor.
Bobby Hastings getting Nick Roy a new stick. And the centerman will move into the faceoff in the offensive zone for Toronto on the penalty kill. And the draw scrummed, and then Waugh gets it back. And the Leafs play it all the way back into their own zone. And Benoit will hammer it and send it out and down the ice. Minute 25 left in the power play, 4:56 in the period.
By the way, Tyler Bertuzzi leads the Hawks with 5 power play goals, not in the lineup tonight.
Bedard in on the right side, got it into the slot area. Blackhawks close, and a shot went off Benoit and into the corner. Now Scrum along the boards in the near corner in the Toronto zone. Dugout, and the Leafs are going to get it to center, and it is Yarncrook sending it the rest of the way into Chicago territory. Leafs get the change of their personnel on the penalty kill. Blackhawks maintain the same power play. Teravainen to the line with Bedard. Drop back to the blue line. Levshonov got it on the right side for Bedard. Sent back to the defenseman. The shot coming. That was blockered away nicely by Wall. Centering pass back to the near side. Bedard closes. Shot off the shoulder of Wall over top of the net. That went off a stick. Wall had to make a pretty good reaction save there. Centering pass, and a shot went wide, and the Leafs get a chance to clear, and this time they do get it out and down the ice. Faked out the cameraman so much he followed the Chicago player who he thought knocked it down. Brought on by Donato. Down into the corner. Back to the point, off a Leaf stick. Kept alive, though, by Murphy. Near half boards. Nazar got it around the boards, back of the net now for Donato to Lazar. He misses it down the ice and out of the box. Cowan, breakaway in a goal, backhand! Blocked on the pad of Knight. What a chance Easton Cowan had coming out of the penalty box. Shot swallowed up by Wall, and he will hold. And Easton Cowan comes close to getting his second NHL goal.
Well, his first came on the road in Philadelphia. And this was perfect timing where the Leafs are able to clear the puck up the left wing boards just as Cowan steps out of the box.
He was a foot on the ice when it came to him.
And he doesn't actually get this. I thought Spencer Knight got his pad on it, but on the replay you can see that it just kind of rolls off his stick as he was trying to tuck it around the left pad.
So, face-off won by Toronto in their zone. Backhanded, but turned over and shot back in deep. Leafs get it out at center, only to have it shot back in by Chicago. Wall couldn't stop it. Nylander plays in front of his own goal. Robertson gets a pass up at center. Now launches it high towards the corner. Tavares negates icing to get it back of the net. Nylander couldn't get to it. Mermis is able to keep it in, and the Blackhawks will spin it off into the far corner looking for Alex Vlasic, and it's played out at center ice. Nazar in across the line, couldn't get a return pass. Oliver Ekman-Larsson backhands it to center. That is blocked. Cowan able to kick it free. Here's Oliver Ekman-Larsson sending it in. Michelli goes into the forecheck, and the Blackhawks have it in their own zone. Shots favor Chicago 21-18 as it's brought in on a wrist shot by Grzelcyk that went wide of the Toronto net. Back to the point, long shot. That's knocked down in front of the goal. Played on the backhand by the Maple Leafs. Myers out at center and kicked by Bobby McMahon. But out of the goal will come Knight to play it away as McMahon got slowed up enough and couldn't get a breakaway opportunity. Leafs 2 and the Blackhawks 1. Played into the Chicago zone. Now Knight tries a long lead pass, and it turns into an icing because he couldn't hook up with the former Leaf Ilya Mikheyev. So with time coming up to an end of the period, there'll be a face-off in the Chicago zone.
Well, one thing for sure, the effort has been much, much better for the Leafs. Especially being able to get on the forecheck. Though they haven't started either period exceptionally well.
Pass back to the point off a face-off win around back of the net. Trying to drag it out in front was Dakota Joshua. The Leafs get it back to the blue line. Point shot coming, didn't make it through. That was blocked, and the Chicago player paying the price is limping to the bench. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Fed around to the far side. Good hit, springs the loose puck for Lorenz. He carries to the line, trying to get around. Got a sharp angle shot attempt away that was well wide, and it is caromed all the way down into the Leaf end with 1:08 to go in this second period. Leafs get it around the boards and have played it down into the Chicago blue line area. Blackhawks Kaiser back into the Toronto end, out of the net Wall. Back into the corner for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Banked down into the Chicago end, no icing. 48 seconds left in the period. Leafs trying to take a lead to the third period. Brought in now by Chicago. Getting wide, Burakovsky. Burakovsky hands the puck to Nyes. Nyes starts away. Cowan is with him. Cowan in on the left wing. Back looking for Nyes in front. The pass was blocked. Now coming out of the corner is Roy for a sharp angle try. That hit the side of the goal, I believe. 22 seconds left to go in the period. Blackhawks get it back at center. And across the line for Bedard. Had it taken away from him. Benoit, a dozen seconds left now. Playing catch here with Jake McCabe. Hoping to end the period. And it looks like they're going to be allowed to do just that. 4 seconds left. McCabe skates up on the left wing. And time will run out.
Just little plays like that, right? No panic in the game. McCabe and Benoit reading the time left in the period. You're not trying to do anything spectacular. We're trying to see. It might have been Nick Foligno, Joe, that took that point shot, and it might have caught him right above the glove. Right above the cuff of the glove and on the forearm. So hopefully Foligno's okay. Talk about a guy that's been bitten with injuries over the course of his career, but the Leafs, after a 1-1 first period, score the only goal of the second.
So it is 2-1 in favor of the Maple Leafs, and you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
New Virgin Plus spot, take one.
Get an amazingly affordable phone plan from Virgin Plus. Tyler, I sound like a robot?
Got it. Take two.
Get an amazingly affordable phone.
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24. Yup, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to aveloair.com.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
Life tests homes. Certainty Roofing and Siding makes sure they're ready. So you're built for stormy seasons. Built for what's next. Built for this. Certainteed. Built for this.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy comes 911 Nashville.
Ours is a family that is forged in fire.
Starring Chris O'Donnell. 911 Nashville. All new. Thursday, 9/10 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Introducing Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
Join me for an insider look on a wild ride through 40 years of global rock and roll.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app. Or ask your smart speaker to play Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio.
Who's ready to rock?
Kids wanna rock. That help everyday inventors get started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Call 1-800-353-6081. That's 1-800-353-6081. Again, 1-800-353-6081.
The Northern Super League is Canada's first pro women's soccer league, and the NSL Final, presented by Toyota, hits BMO Field on November 15th. See the best in Canadian women's soccer. Get tickets at nsl.ca/final.
Here's a thought. You wouldn't wear the same outfit every day, so why stick to the same glasses? Pearl Vision has brand name glasses to keep your style fresh. Michael Kors for sleek confidence, Coach for timeless vibes, and Vogue Eyewear to mix things up, whatever you want. Right now, get 40% off a second pair, because one look is never enough. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl. Some restrictions and exclusions may apply. See participating stores for details.
First Up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Nylander plays it off to OEL. Closing shot, rebound, scores! Morgan Riley makes it a 2-1 game after an enormous shift and enormous pressure on the Blackhawks.
And that's where we stand after 40 minutes of play. The Leafs 2, Chicago 1. After 40 minutes is brought to you by 241 Pizza. Order 241's one large pizza, 2 toppings for $12.99 deal today. Call 241-0241 or order online at 241pizza.com. Stu, the Yes Guy betting app has imploded. Only the one goal in the period. There could have been at least 6.
Very, very predictable, right? And shots were 11-5 for Chicago there, but I don't think it necessarily tells the tale, right? A lot of it was through the neutral zone, some stuff going on to the side. But again, at the end of the day, it's about the results right now. And Toronto Maple Leafs are going into the third period up 2-1. So again, for me, I'd like to see maybe gaining a little bit more momentum on the power play. And they had a hard time setting up in their entries, and that's a work in progress. But you talk about trying to get some wins and getting back into the win column. That's a situation where if that power play is clicking, maybe you're up 3-1, 4-1. But again, it's about small wins. They ended up scoring the goal. Great job by hemming in the Chicago Blackhawks for a good 2 minutes there. It's a lot better being the hunter than the hare. And through 40 minutes, they've been the better team, I think, and that's why they're up 2-1.
Oddly enough, they only had 5 shots on goal in that period, and they had a beautiful opportunity after, a unsuccessful challenge on a Nylander high stick on the actual goal. They had a power play, and it wasn't effective, as you say. They couldn't get in.
Yeah, a little bit. They're doing the double kickback, kicking it back to Riley, and then now they're trying to hit another guy coming upstream. So again, sometimes when you're struggling a little bit, you got to go the traditional way. You just got to chip in charge and retrieve pucks, right? So, but the one thing is, Chicago, they're very, very well versed as a young team. They have to do extra video, so they know exactly what Toronto's trying to do, and they're doing a good job pacing them and skating them. And remember, it's tough to maybe out-muscle a team like Chicago, who has, I think, their average height of their defensemen are 6'3". So again, I understand what they're trying to do, but again, you got to be able to, if it's not working, switch it up just a little bit. But again, the power play is not the story of this game. Again, they're doing a good job in hemming in the opposition. They're getting in on the forechecks. They're not afraid to thrive along the walls and slow that game down. So, up 2-1. With Joseph Wall, who's playing, fantastic hockey in his first game back of the season, you want to really just play those details and win for Wall tonight. So much of the same. You don't have to necessarily turn it into a track meet. It did turn into one for, I think, about 4 minutes of that second period. So, again, Steady Eddie wins the race, and I expect some more of that going into the final 20 for Toronto.
Yeah, just on those entries, I don't know exactly what Troy Stetcher's role is going to be with this team. I would suggest to you probably a look on the second power play unit. He's played power play for pretty well every stop he's been in. Maybe that's an adjustment that they'll appreciate.
Yeah, and again, he has the ability to do that. He did put up 25, 30 points, a few years back, too. And again, he's not really a transporter. He's more of a guy that's get pucks out and exit, right? So, It's all about evolving. If a kickback's not working, okay, maybe you got to do the chip. Maybe you got to go up the middle and then hit one of the flanks, which one's more open. So, you have the ability, you have the skill, right? Nyes can transport it. Nylander's very, very shifty. You saw Cowan, and that's another thing mentioning Cowan, regardless of the penalty, he's very, very poised with the puck, and he seems like he's a guy that is ready for prime time as well, too. So, again, you got to adjust it, and sometimes when you're being too fancy, that's when you're getting caught, and that was the story in that second period on the power play for the Maple Leafs.
And, the high stick on Nylander, I never debate those because, you don't know exactly what they're looking at in terms of the shot. I'm not convinced we have access to the defining shot.
It's funny. I always joke about, when they do these challenges, I turn the channel, but I'm like, I got to work this game. I got to keep it on, right? And again, I think in today's NHL, you don't want to be taking away goals, and I'm sure they took their time in trying to figure it out as, again, if you're taking a goal off the board when it was already called, you have to have, it has to be 100% correct that you felt it was a high stick. So there's a lot of gray area. Yeah, enough gray area that they ended up calling it back. But again, that they didn't call it back. But again, today's NHL, we want to see offense. We want to see goals scored. So I'm happy. I'm happy that it ended up in the Leafs' favor.
Who has been the best Leaf so far, in your opinion?
Whoa. That is a loaded question.
There's been a lot of guys that are contributing equally, isn't there?
I think Cowan's been great. You know what? I'll go with the easy, low-hanging fruit answer is Joseph Woll. 20 saves through 2 periods.
Like that.
He's been dialed in, .952 save percentage. He's been playing great. He's been challenged at times. And for me, it's not the quality of the save. It's the timing of saves. Chicago came on near the end where, you saw Bedard dangling and making some saves, making some shots. And that power play, he killed it off well. Some big point shots through traffic. So, Woll's the number one guy so far for Toronto.
And that's a big answer for him, too, not only for the team, but for him. The one thing that was apparent in the first period, and I guess you could still say the same, Chicago does have some wheels, don't they?
They could skate, and it's just seeing how big and strong they are. I was at the prospect tournament I was actually last year, where the average height of the defenseman was, I think, 6'3.5". They had one defenseman the whole rookie tournament under 6'3". So big, strong, fast future of hockey. If I'm Toronto, I got to find a way to bulk up just a little bit because they're going to be a force to reckon with sooner than later.
So what do we look for here in period 3?
A little bit more of the same. Second period, I think they did a great job of just sort of, skating really, really well, getting the pucks along the walls, not afraid of that cycle play, doing a good job with the F3. I'd like to see the D maybe activate a little bit less. But again, discipline. Don't be on your heels. Don't be afraid to, get the puck off the wall or get an icing. They actually are dominating in the face-off circle. I believe they're 22-4-32 right now, too. So don't be afraid to get the puck out. Don't risk it. But also don't sit back. If you're getting it on the forecheck, just make sure you have a good F3, but manage the puck because Bedard he just needs half a step to turn this game inside out. Please manage Bedard.
It is a one-goal game. Stu, thanks very much. 2-1 for the Leafs over Chicago after 40 minutes of play. Riley has the goal in the second period. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Bet99 is built in Canada by Canadians for Ontario players. In fact, Bet99 is so Canadian, it's an official partner of the NHL. Bet99 has more than 2,500 casino games.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
Calvin Gilmore's Carolina Opry Christmas Special, now in its 40th anniversary season, is the Christmas show of the South. A cherished family tradition, this dazzling production welcomes back Moses Braxton and Delvin Choice, joined by 35 of the nation's top artists and the renowned Calvin Gilmore Orchestra in the stunning Carolina Opry Theater, glowing with miles of Christmas lights. Come home for Christmas at the Carolina Opry. Shows now running. Book today.
At Homewood Metalworks, we provide locally manufactured, energy-efficient, top-of-the-line metal and steel products and services. We also construct residential and commercial metal buildings, offering you a complete turnkey solution. Stop by any of our 4 locations or visit homewoodmetalworks.com.
What are the potential threats from artificial intelligence that could totally upend the way Americans live their lives? What will it do to the job market, data privacy, cybersecurity, the banking system, national security? Learn how you could help protect your life savings with a free gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. You could get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver if you qualify, but only while supplies last. Call 855-GOLD-IRA now. That's 855-GOLD-IRA.
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24, yup, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to aveloair.com.
First batch in the third period, Devils 2-1 over the Capitals. Oilers and Canes are tied at 2. Rangers and Jackets tied at 1. Kings 1-0 over the Senators. Detroit 4, Buffalo 3. In the second, Golden Knights 3-0 over the Blues. Second period, Flyers losing to Dallas 1-0 after 40 minutes. Boston 3-2 over Montreal. Final, Lightning 3-1 over the Panthers. Wild shut out the Ducks 2-0 starting at 10. San Jose in Seattle, and the Jets visiting the Flames in our game. 2-1 for the Leafs over the Hawks after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, it's Joe Bowen. It's time to sell your car. What are you going to do? Sell it yourself online? Are you sure you want to deal with strangers and all the crazy offers? Dealerships?
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24, yup, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to aveloair.com.
Calvin Gilmore's Carolina Opry Christmas Special, now in its 40th anniversary season, is the Christmas show of the South. A cherished family tradition, this dazzling production welcomes back Moses Braxton and Delvin Choice, joined by 35 of the nation's top artists and the renowned Calvin Gilmore Orchestra in the stunning Carolina Opry Theater, glowing with miles of Christmas lights. Come home for Christmas at the Carolina Opry. Shows now running. Book today.
Ah, the Florida coast. Vrbo has over 57,000 exclusive vacation homes on the Florida coast. That's 57,000 vacation homes Airbnb wishes they had. Make it a Vrbo for your next Florida coast trip.
At Homewood Metalworks, we provide locally manufactured, energy-efficient, top-of-the-line metal and steel products and services. We also construct residential and commercial metal buildings, offering you a complete turnkey solution. Stop by any of our 4 locations or visit homewoodmetalworks.com.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at NovantHealth.org/weight loss now. That's NovantHealth.org/weight loss now.
You want it.
Heading to the third period, and the Leafs are in somewhat uncharted waters here for the last little while anyway. They have given up just a single goal after 40 minutes of play. I believe it's the 4th time this year that they have been in a position like this. And they have played well defensively. They've managed giveaways to the tune that has not been acceptable in a lot of other games. On this occasion, they have surrendered 8 giveaways thus far in the hockey game, compared to 14 by the Chicago Blackhawks.
The one thing I like as much as anything is how they've engaged in one-on-one battles. The old Fred Sherrill line, the quickest way to the puck is a straight line.
And arrive in ill humor.
Yeah, take it. Take that route and arrive in ill humor. And the Flyers did in the mid-70s, back-to-back cups, 74, 75. The other one, when I love from Fred Show talking about coaching, he said, I'd rather be respected than liked, although I'd prefer both.
The fog, affectionately known, right? Hawks get the puck down in the Toronto zone. The Leafs are able to fend for it and get it up ahead. And now they're going to bring it back into their own end with a pass that was partially blocked but grabbed off again by the defense. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson to Riley, and it's played into the center ice area. Hawks Grizzling back in his own zone. Got it into neutral ice, only to be stolen by Cowan. And he has played it high, and it's gone into the screen out of play. Easton Cowan has been noticeable.
Yeah, he getting second power play unit. Number one power play unit. Top 6 minutes coming in.
Face-off coming in the center ice dot. Puck is dropped, and Benoit steps up to the red line, chipped it ahead. Robertson gets it the rest of the way into the zone. Down the boards, I think Bedard's going to get a penalty for tripping. And he's headed to the penalty box as he took down John Tavares.
And Bedard does do some penalty killing as well, so it's good to get that shorthanded threat off the ice. This comes just 44 seconds here into the third period. The Leafs 0 for 2 in the power play, but boy, if you needed one on the power play, these are the key times. We talk about power play goals just like big saves. Sometimes it's not how many, but when you get them.
Tripping called to Bedard. Third power play opportunity for the Maple Leafs. Face off in the Chicago zone. Tavares won the draw, but unable to get to it was Nyes, and the Hawks punch it down the ice.
Nyes thought if he tied his man up long enough, Ekman-Larsson would jump down to get it.
Now OEL starts out of his own zone, dropping the puck back. Nylander carries to center, hit the line, got it into the slot area. Cowan gets it back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson into the slot. Nylander closing, got the shot away, but it was off a stick and wide of the goal. Along the boards, Cowan loses it. Nylander able to block it initially, but then it's poked out at center. One-on-one rush here with Nazar. Nazar waiting for teammates and then decides he'll play it all the way down back in his own zone and kill off more time on this penalty as it is now iced by the Chicago defense. Minute 11 to go in the power play. Leafs have not really had a scoring opportunity. Cowan coming to center. On the right side, cleared in by Robertson, but not far enough, and the Hawks send it back down into the Toronto end. Changes up front. Riley dropping the puck back. Domi comes to center. On the wing to the near side for Roy, closing. Well, a shot looking for a redirect from Domi, but it was off his stick and wide. Now Nick Roy keeping the puck in for Robertson. A centering pass quickly sent by Domi, but no one there, and it caroms off the far boards, goes all the way down the ice. Brought back now, and Robertson has to take it back in his own zone. Up ahead for Morgan Riley. Riley dropping for the trailer. Robertson a little head fake to gain the zone. Got it into the slot area. Being hounded here as he gets it into the corner. Roy to the far side. Leafs now organizing. It's cleared by Cowan back to the point. The wrist shot coming. Rebound in front of the goal. Trickled just wide of the near post. Played by Vlasic for the Hawks, and the penalty expires. Bedard on and has the puck as he comes into the Toronto zone with a shot. That went wide. Best chance the Leafs had was right at the tail end of the penalty.
And it was a simple play, right? Point shot with traffic in front.
Down into the Chicago zone. Joshua into the forecheck. So is Lorenz. He stops up the Chicago defense, but it comes in front of the shot. Pat saving the rebound. Punched wide of the goal by Kelly Youngcrook. Two good scoring chances there for the veteran winger. Yarncrook getting it back to the blue line. Jake McCabe, middle of the ice, wrist shot in traffic. Knocked down, backhand pass, and that went off a stick. McCabe trying to keep it in. Bouncing puck and cleared out at center finally by Chicago. Leafs could be up a pair here as Bedard brings it into the Toronto zone. Down into the corner for Green. Back to the point once more. Kaiser goes D to D, but off a stick and down into the zone. Racing after it was Bobby McMahon, and he almost beat the defenseman to provide a partial breakaway. Near boards and into the Toronto end it goes. Dakota Mermis getting it up on the boards. And now Oliver Ekman-Larsson drops it back to him, and Mermis quickly gets it ahead. Rolls in on goal off the stick of Bobby McMahon, whistle down. And a face-off coming in the Chicago end. But the Leafs have started this third period with some real jump and some real good forecheck.
Yeah, and every line has been able to get in the forecheck. Timon Benoit, Joe, in that one of the last Chicago rushes, came down back into his own zone, and it looked like he got clipped with either a high stick or the puck came up and got him. But there was no call. Had there been a guilty party from the Blackhawks getting their stick up on him, but at the time it looked like the Leafs are going to be in trouble on an odd-man rush.
Draw in the Chicago zone to the left of the net. Donato lost the draw. Shot kicked away there by Knight. Puck in the corner. Leafs lead 2-1 here in the third period. Carried out now by Connor Murphy. Played down into the Toronto end. And icing is going to be the call. So it'll come all the way back into the Chicago end. Leafs out shooting the Blackhawks now 26-21. Blackhawks have scored 28 times in the third period this year, which is the top number in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, at least really have to keep their composure. I think they got so caught up in trying to protect the lead against LA, Joe. They just tried to play at one end of the ice and defend. Obviously, that eventually led to an LA tying goal and an overtime loss.
Domi will take the face-off with Donato and won it. It comes back to Morgan Riley. He doesn't send it at the net, sends it back to the goal, but unable to get to it was Dakota Mermis. And now the Leafs trying to keep it in, but it's pushed out at center ice. Off the boards and in, off Mermis is sticking down into the zone. Bit of interference there trying to get to the puck, but Domi has come out of the corner with it, cycled it back behind the net. The defenseman was tripped, and that goes up into the crowd. That was kind of turnaround fair play. Looked like a penalty should have been called on Chicago. Wasn't, and that definitely was a penalty and was not called on Bobby McMahon.
Yeah, and that was right in front of the official as well, as McMahon got his stick blade into the skates of the official. Remember, we saw that in the LA game. Matthew Nyes got taken down right in front of the official. There was no call.
Tavares and Nylander discussing.
Yeah, by the way, Willie Nylander with the assist on the Morgan Riley goal. That's 13 straight for Nylander with a point.
Played around the boards by the Blackhawks. Teravainen gets it out at center. It's deflected to the Leaf blue line. Now into the slot. Teravainen in. Scores! Teuvo Teravainen ties the game for Chicago on a rather innocent-looking rush into the Leaf end.
Boy, old habits are dying hard, aren't they? This is really something that comes out of nothing, as Philip Myers can't take his man on the right wing boards coming in. And Nazar makes a nice play, gets past Myers and then throws it to Teravainen, and Teravainen makes a nice little move around Morgan Riley and flips it blocker side. And the Chicago Blackhawks, I think, have had maybe 3 or 4 outstanding chances and have scored on 2 of them.
Played by Wall into the corner. The Leafs are able to get it to the line and out. A big collision, but now played in by Jake McCabe, who was into the rush and thought better of it. Played it into the corner. Dakota Joshua couldn't come up with it. And the Blackhawks have started out with it. Kaiser gets it ahead at center. Brought in over the line and pushed into the zone then by Burakovsky. Leafs come up with it. Almost another turnover and then grabbed off by McCabe and cycled up the boards trying to get it ahead. And it'll come to the line but not out. Yarncrook couldn't get it another 4 feet past the blue line. Centering pass off a stick. Kept alive by Chicago's defense. Doc on the left wing boards. Back to the point. Long shot. That was knocked down in front of the net. Benoit circling the goal. Gives the puck away in front of the net. Shot. Sprawling block made. Another pass in front wall trying to get back into the crease area, and it's cleared into the center ice area. Huge block from Jake McCabe. Here the Hawks back in with Mikheyev. Works around the boards to the far side. D-to-D pass near side. Grizzly got it towards the net. Blackhawks center intercepted, and Roy gets it out at center for Easton Cowan. Cowan sends a bouncing roller into the side of the net. Cleared by the goaltender up at center. And it's out into the center ice area before slapped back in again by Dakota Mermis. Leafs get a intercept, a pass right in front of the net. Oh, and a great chance by Cowan, and Knight got across to get a pad in the way of that. Things are opening up here. Morgan Riley off the boards. Got it ahead for Waugh, but he couldn't find his winger. Back come the Blackhawks the other way. Nazar looking on the left side for Teravainen, but couldn't come up with it. Cowan starts back for the Maple Leafs. Plays it off the glass. Or did he?
Did that come from inside the Leaf line? I don't think so. I think
did it hit the glass?
Easton Cowan.
No, he looks like he's headed to the penalty box.
So the Hawks get the tying goal, and now a power play opportunity to take the lead.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, James Duffy from McAlpine Lincoln in Aurora. By all means, go ahead and compare Lincoln to the competition. You may be surprised to see how our luxury SUVs stack up.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
All your festive favorites. Unwrap the magic of the season, one song at a time. Ask your smart speaker to play iHeart the Holidays on iHeartRadio. Download the free app today. Gifted to you by Sleep Country.
It's never been easier to come and go. Introducing The Ride, your ultimate transportation app. The Ride.
Is it just us, or would a trip to a tropical paradise make your holidays a lot merrier? Starting December 24, Christmas Eve, Avelo Airlines will fly to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, non-stop from ILM. Beautiful beaches, outdoor adventures, little umbrellas in your drinks. It's a seasonal offering through spring, so better book now before it sells out or time runs out. To fly non-stop from ILM to Punta Cana, merengue on over to aveloair.com.
Blackhawks going to the power play for the second time in the game. Neither team has scored with the man advantage.
And looking at the replay of this as well, Cowan is about 4 feet inside the Leaf blue line and just could have slid it out. That launches it over the glass.
Here the Hawks in on the left wing. Burakovsky gets it back to the point, fed over on the right side. Bedard looking in front of the net, holds in the corner. Back to the point it comes again. D-to-D on the near side. Back into the slot again, trying to get free. Levshanov, it goes into Bedard once more. Holding, looking back. It comes to the point once more. Burakovsky works in on the left wing, trying to get around a sprawling Jake McCabe, who knocked the puck into the corner with his glove but couldn't get it out. At the blue line, kept in by Chicago. Down on the left wing boards once more. Burakovsky with it. Looking in front of the net. Burakovsky forced wide, sends it to the far corner. Yarncrook got there, got it free, and the Leafs do get it out at center ice. Changes for the Leaf defense and penalty killers. Against the boards, going to be not cleared out by Lorenz, who had a great chance, and the Hawks looking for the go-ahead goal, get it into the goal crease. It's still free. Brought back now by Bedard. Bedard working wide against Nyes. Bedard with a sharp angle shot, stopped there by Wall, trying to get it covered up. It goes back of the net. McCabe didn't see it. Then when he tried to clear it, it comes free. The Leafs are trying to get it to their goaltender with no success. Here the Hawks with it, stretching it out. Far side again. Right wing shot, and that whistled wide by Bedard. Trapped at the near boards by Burakovsky. Burakovsky along the near wall. Trying to work with it now, Teravainen. Back it goes to Burakovsky. Burakovsky into the slot once more. It'll come to Bedard. Closing! Shot it high and wide. Rebound still free and still maintained. 6 seconds left in the power play. Dog-tired group of Leafs out there. Pass in front. Stolen. Cleared off a skate. And off the boards it comes out at center just as Cowan escapes from the penalty box. 3 shots on the power play.
I would have wondered if Chicago would have scored. The Leafs were all pointing as the puck had gone out of play on the mesh up behind the glass in the Leaf end. It would have been interesting to see, Joe, if the Leafs would have been able to challenge that.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Riley poked it along the boards, cut off by Oliver Moore. Back to the point it comes. A shot in traffic, deflected just wide. Robertson hustling after it on the far side, and it'll be played back at the net for the defense, and Riley off the boards for Tavares. Tavares ahead for Nylander. Left wing side, back in looking for Willie as he drove the net, but it went off a Chicago stick. Nick Foligno, the captain of the Blackhawks, has not returned after blocking a shot in the second period, I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Leafs back in their own zone, got it ahead. One-handed by Bobby McMahon into the zone. We're under 10 minutes to play in the third, but now tied 2-2. Blackhawks at center. Green up on the right side. Trying to work in there was Mikheyev, to no avail. He lost his stick, in fact. And the Leafs play it around the boards, but don't get it to Dakota Joshua, who couldn't get it out. Now a centering pass, and a shot rolled in on goal. Cleared by the Leafs this time. It won't have enough to go for icing. And the Leafs will get a change going. Grzelcyk going back in his own zone.
Boy, Chicago, though, gaining momentum from that power play.
Out shooting Toronto now 28-27. Off a stick into Toronto territory. McCabe back of the net, then reverses his field. Sending it around the wall. It'll be trapped there by Nyes, who's carried back into his own zone. Fed on the near side for McCabe. Got it up ahead, and Cowan couldn't get it out. Still free. Blackhawks in. Kaiser in front of the goal. And the shot knocked away by Slaggert. But again, a couple of opportunities to get the puck out, and they have not been able to do it. Donato, far corner coming out. Donato was hooked onto there. The puck comes free. Leafs get it out at center ice. Nyes in across the line. He has Cowan with him, but couldn't find him. Back of the net. Blocked by goaltender Spencer Knight. And Chicago with 8:10 to go in the third. Playing it out at center. That was blocked and fired right back in on goal. And Knight had to be alert there as it arrived in a big-time hurry. Bedard gets it, and it is backhanded to center ice, bouncing wide of the Leaf net. Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the wing, but that pass cut off. Hawks working in, going around back of the net, trying to come out with it. It's Green. It comes back to the point. Vlasic with a shot. That went wide. Another shot is into the chest of Wall, and he's going to cover up on it with 7:37 to play in period number 3.
I would bet, Joe, that in the 12 minutes of the third period, the Leafs have turned the puck over in their own zone as much as they did in the first 2 periods combined. They've been back on their heels, and giveaways have been a big problem.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen.
I want to know I can lose this weight. I want to hear you are not alone. I want clinically proven weight loss solutions. I want a plan that's tailored to me. I want to enjoy my life again. I want to lose the weight for good.
For the best weight loss plans, you want Novant. Take the first step at novanthealth.org/weight loss now. That's novanthealth.org/weight loss now.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
Calvin Gilmore's Carolina Opry Christmas Special, now in its 40th anniversary season, is the Christmas show of the South. A cherished family tradition, this dazzling production welcomes back Moses Braxton and Delvin Choice, joined by 35 of the nation's top artists and the renowned Calvin Gilmore Orchestra in the stunning Carolina Opry Theater, glowing with miles of Christmas lights. Come home for Christmas at the Carolina Opry. Shows now running. Book today.
5-12 to tie the game. Face off in the Toronto zone to the left of Joseph Woll. Scrummed, but the Hawks get it back to the point. Near side, Vlasic sending it towards the net. That went wide. Back to the point again. It comes with a bounce pass. Crevier and comes to center, and then he shoots it in. And the Leafs go back with time and space to organize. Jake McCabe taking a look up ice and then comes straight up the middle. McCabe to the red line, flips it in, hustling after it, Nick Robertson. Got it spun away there from Vlasic, but it comes up on the left wing, and a long alley-oop to center, and in over the line is Moore! Stopped on the short side by Joseph Woll. Moore just blew by the Leaf defenseman. Back to the point, kept in by Vlasic. Centering pass, off a glove. Leafs get it out at center. Nick Robertson after it, but he's out of gas and then makes a nifty little move to control it, but then as he tried to find fresh legs coming off the bench, it was intercepted there by Chicago. Now the Blackhawks get a turnover. Mikheyev back in on the left wing. Ilya Mikheyev sends it around back of the net. Riley crumples his man up against the end boards. Lorenz chasing his. Lorenz trying to get it away there from Colton Dock. On the boards on the far side, it'll come to the point. Hawks walk the line back into the slot area. A shot. Wall has covered up on that. And there'll be a face-off in the Toronto zone with 6:13 left in the third period, and this game is tied 2-2.
Now, in between the goal that Chicago scored early in the third period and then the power play, the Hawks have really had the advantage in the offensive zone against the Leafs. And again, you get that feeling, Joe, like we saw in their last time out Thursday night against the LA Kings, where they seem preoccupied with, we've got to defend, right? Got to get it back going the other way. What they did for long stretches in the first 40 minutes of the game.
Jake McCabe stumbled in that foot race with Moore that allowed him to get around the defense and in. Face off in the Toronto zone, won cleanly by the Blackhawks. Back to the point, Vlasic. That's a wrist shot that deflects wide of the goal. Benoit pushes it ahead. Leafs get it out at center and to the line and in. Trying to work into the corner is McMahon. It comes in front for McCabe. Oh, and a big pad save made by Spencer Knight. Back come the Blackhawks in over the line. Now back come the Leafs as they turn it over at center, and it's flipped down into Chicago territory. McMahon after it, back of the net. 5:38 to play in the third. Backhanded to the line and out. Bedard working to the line and in. Bedard makes a drop pass, but it's turned over. And Domi starts back the other way with one man back. Domi in with a wrist shot that deflects over top of the goal. And it's gone up into the screen and out of play. So a face-off coming in the Chicago end. What a good save that was by Spencer Knight. or the Leafs had a chance to take the lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Hey, it's Joe Bowen. It's time to sell your car. What are you going to do? Sell it yourself online? Are you sure you want to deal with strangers and all the crazy offers? Dealership.com.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
Calvin Gilmore's Carolina Opry Christmas Special, now in its 40th anniversary season, is the Christmas show of the South. A cherished family tradition, this dazzling production welcomes back Moses Braxton and Delvin Choice, joined by 35 of the nation's top artists and the renowned Calvin Gilmore Orchestra in the stunning Carolina Opry Theater, glowing with miles of Christmas lights. Come home for Christmas at the Carolina Opry. Show's now running. Book today.
50, everywhere you want it.
Face off in the Chicago zone. Domi wins it cleanly, back to the point. Wrist shot coming, blocker save, rebound bounced over Domi's stick. A centering pass to Dakota Joshua, got a quick shot away that Knight had to get low to make that save. Domi steals the puck in neutral ice. He's going to flip it in wide of the goal and bounce it to the side of the goal. Michelli couldn't get to it. Domi has it on the boards, though. Back for Michelli to Domi. Domi now wrapping it around. He got it out in front of the net, and Dakota Joshua couldn't find it. Hawks get it down into the Toronto end with under 5 minutes to play in the third period. Tied at 2s. Riley, after a loose puck, got it ahead, and it is chopped out at center by Michelli. Played back down into the Toronto end. Down the boards on the far side. Nylander trying to get it back, but it comes to the point. Long shot, scores! Point shot that had eyes. Catches the top corner. And the Blackhawks gain the lead with only minutes left in the third period.
That might have been redirected, Joe. Colton Dock, I think, might have been flying by in front of Joseph Wall, but harmless looking play. Goes back to the right point, a little half slapper, and Colton Dock might very well have his second of the season. Goalless in 7 coming in, and yep, there it is. And the Blackhawks have regained the lead that they took in the opening period.
So it is 3-2 Chicago. And time running out. Crevier and Mikheyev getting the assists and the goal. 4:12 to play in the third period. Turnover, Nylander in for Tavares, and he couldn't handle the pass. Brought back at center by Dock. Colton Dock will send it down into the Leaf zone. Oh, cut off there. And Benoit was hammered in by Dock. And now we've got some shoving going on as Benoit just gets back up on his skates. There might be a penalty here to
is that
Jake
Dock?
McCabe, or is there going to be one to Dock? McCabe arguing it.
I don't know who had control of the puck when the whistle went, but a pretty big collision with Benoit in behind the Leaf net. And if there isn't a penalty, you're wondering why was there a whistle. Jake McCabe looking up at the board. I mean, now this is kind of a shoulder-to-shoulder hit, right?
Yeah.
It's just that Benoit was starting to cut towards the corner at the time of the collision with Dock. McCabe took exception. Still don't know if there's a penalty coming or not.
I mean, it was an unfortunate hit, but it wasn't dirty
no.
by any stretch.
No penalties.
3:51 to play in the third. Face off in the Leaf zone. Controlled by Toronto. Fed up on the left wing. Nyes shoots the puck into the Chicago end. trapped there and backhanded out to the line, but trapped by Riley and got back into the Chicago zone. And the Hawks get it back out at center. Riley on the near side. Cowan shoots it back into the Chicago end. Once again, the Leafs have gotten to a game where they've given up at least 3. At the point, Riley a shot, big rebound in front, shot wide in front of the goal there on a great scoring opportunity by Roy, and now it is swallowed up by the goaltender, although he wasn't really too sure where the puck was.
Boy, that play earlier, Joe, if Watt spots his man wide open off the post and gets it to him, and I think was that
nice?
It might have been Matthias Michelli.
Yeah, it might have been. 3:15 to play in the third period. Leafs down a goal. Nylander with a word with his centerman. And Tavares is waved out. Nylander will have to take the face-off. And the puck is dropped in the Blackhawks' control. Connor Murphy sending it around the boards, but it doesn't clear. And a long shot is swallowed up by Spencer Knight again. And another face-off coming in his Chicago zone. Shot taken there by Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
3:08 to go here in the third period. At least now, the team looking for the tying goal. The Hawks have outscored Toronto 2-0 here in the third.
And whistle down by the linesman. They're saying that Tavares moved early, so Nylander is going to move in to take the face-off against Frank Nazar. And Nylander won the draw, but the Hawks stepped around and were able to clear it back into the Toronto end. Tavares gets a pass, sends it back to Morgan Riley. Up ahead now for Robertson, onto the right wing side. Oliver Ekman-Larsson sending it in. Down the boards, the Leafs get it around back of the net. Tavares centering, that went off the side of the goal. Kept alive on the right wing side by Nylander, walking the line. Had it knocked away, cleared by Chicago down the ice. Goaltender still in for Toronto.
Wow.
Why wasn't that icing? Wow. Played back into the Chicago end, and it's going to be icing at the other end.
Well, that was a late wave off, and the puck was over the goal line.
Wasn't like the Leaf defenseman had stopped skating or anything, but wow, that was interesting. Face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
You mentioned 3 goals against. It's another multi-goal period that the Leafs have had.
Colton Dock has given them the lead here in this third period. After Teravainen had tied the game, and a shot from an angle is caught by Joseph Woll. 2:23 to play. And I'm sure he'll be ticketed for the bench. The Leafs are out shooting Chicago 33-32.
Leafs have won almost 16% of the face-off in this game as well.
Blackhawks are just 3-2-2 on home ice this year. They've made most of their ground on the road. And the puck scrum, but won by the Maple Leafs and brought up on the left wing by Domi. Domi to the red line, one hands it into the zone. He's going to get there first. Centered it in front of the net, and McCabe had it knocked away as it's cleared back into the offensive end. The Leafs have to clear the zone as they're on a delayed offside, according to the linesman. And the Hawks take advantage of it and get it to center and down into the Toronto end, and we're under 2 minutes to play. Up on the wing for Nylander. He somehow didn't handle that. It comes out at center, and it's going to be shot right back in again. And now there's 1:48 to play. Riley will try the other side. Oliver Ekman-Larsson got it ahead. Tavares trying to flip it into the zone. Didn't get it over the head of the defender. And now the Leafs still with it, and their goaltender still in the net with 1.5 minutes to go. Played ahead to the line. Nyes can't get in. Leafs have to wait for teammates. Now they shoot it in. Round on the boards. It'll be trapped by Nylander. Goaltender out of the net. 6 attackers on for Toronto. Back of the goal for Nyes. Got away from him. Oliver Ekman-Larsson was in there after it. It's shot down the ice by Chicago. Nylander, or at least Tavares gets back, and that icing was, boy, he was well past the dot when the whistle went. So it'll be brought back into the Chicago end.
And does Craig Berube exercise the timeout now?
Talking with Mark Savard at the bench.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to call one here.
Savard's got the playbook out. See what they can come up with here with an offensive zone faceoff.
John Tavares has won 10 of 14 draws that he's taken tonight, but this will be as big as any. You know, now you start to go back, Joe, and you look at, you know, a couple of goal posts, you look at a couple of breakaways. The Leafs couldn't cash it on in the second period by Easton Cowan and Willie Nylander. But the continuation of allowing 3 goals or more in a game.
Yep. And in fairness, they've played much better
Defensively,
tonight.
yeah.
Yes.
It's just you're kind of running out of tokens for moral victories at this point to try to avoid losing their 5th straight game.
The old adage, you're in a winning streak. You win one that maybe you should have lost before the streak ends.
Yeah.
And then the other end of the spectrum, you're on a losing streak. You play real well, but don't get it. Hawks trying to win the draw. Leafs keep it in. Oliver Ekman-Larsson to Nylander. Centering pass blocked. Rebound in front of the goal. Attempted clear is going to get to the line, but not out. Leafs are able to keep it alive, but then stolen and cleared to the line, and now still not out. Robertson finally can't keep it in. It's poked to center, and Bedard couldn't get to it. Leafs shoot it back in the offensive zone, under a minute to play. Rattled around the boards, and Nylander was able to get a piece of it. Cleared ahead. Hawks get it free. Look at the empty net. Firing and shot it wide. And that should be icing, and is. And it'll come back with 32.5 seconds left in the period. The Leafs have used their timeout.
Leafs might need that little nudge from the hockey gods at this point, right? Getting something similar to what the Hawks did to take the lead. Redirection on a point shot. Scramble in front.
Draw to the right of Spencer Knight. Tavares will take the draw. Nyes, Nylander, Robertson, Domi, Riley, the 6 attackers for Toronto. The draw scrummed in the skates. Hawks get it free, and it's backhanded out into the Toronto zone. Not far enough for icing, and only 23 seconds left. Riley with a long lead pass. That deflects off of Nyes into the zone. One-handed up into the air. It bounces in the slot area shot. And that was shot wide and into the screen off a body by Nyes. Oh, my, what a chance that looked like. Right in front of the goal with 11.3 seconds to go.
Now, this was just one-handed by Matthew Nyes from below the goal line. Goes off a Blackhawk player right up into the air and lands in the slot. That might have been the hand of God, right? Had that have been able to go in?
It'll be Roy taking the face-off now. Tavares in front, can't settle it. Poked out at center. And that's going to be just about enough to put the wraps on this one as it goes down into the Chicago zone. For the first time since 2021, the Maple Leafs have lost 5 in a row. The Blackhawks pick up their 9th victory, their 4th on home ice, and their 22nd point as they win at the United Center on a strength of 2 third-period goals to erase a 2-1 Toronto lead and win the game 3-2.
The thing is, Joe, the Leafs, when leading after 2 periods this year, are 3-2-2, which is amazing, isn't it? You've now lost 4 out of 7 where you've led at the end of, or pardon me, 3-1-2. They end up losing 5 out of 6, or 5 out of, what is that, 8?
8.
that you've
How's
led
your
after
math
two
doing?
periods. Well, as good as
Normal.
a record when leading after the second period. And that's, and they've all been, a lot of them have been recent. Carolina, Los Angeles, and now this game, 1-goal lead into the third period disappears, and, you can talk about the little things that you liked and how they competed better, but it still comes down to it. You give up 2 goals that were really direct results of giveaways and, not playing strong in your own zone.
So the Maple Leafs will return home. The St. Louis Blues are next on the docket, and that will be on Tuesday night. We'll have it right here again on TSN 1050. But again, the Maple Leafs do not find the answer. They drop a 3-2 decision to the Chicago Blackhawks, and we'll ship it off to Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart for the post-game show. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. EyeSight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall.
Calvin Gilmore's Carolina Opry Christmas Special, now in its 40th anniversary season, is the Christmas show of the South. A cherished family tradition, this dazzling production welcomes back Moses Braxton and Delvin Choice, joined by 35 of the nation's top artists and the renowned Calvin Gilmore Orchestra in the stunning Carolina Opry Theater, glowing with miles of Christmas lights. Come home for Christmas at the Carolina Opry. Show's now running. Book today.
The Country Music Awards are Wednesday, and this year, don't just watch the awards, trade the awards on Kalshi. Think Morgan Wallen's taking home Entertainer of the Year? You could turn $100 into $400. Think Chris Stapleton or Luke Combs will win that same $100? Could win $1,000. Trade every CMA award, entertainer, album, song, and more on Kalshi.com, the world's largest prediction market. Legal in all 50 states. Use code CMA to get $20 free when you trade $100. Kalshi. Don't just watch the show, trade on it.
Crave is home to the most talked about homegrown originals.
Will we seeing each other or what?
Like the bold new drama, Heated Rivalry.
This is such a bad idea.
Based on the best-selling book series about hockey's steamiest secret between two of the sport's biggest stars.
You're not gonna tell anyone about this, are you?
Heated Rivalry. Streams November 28th, only on Crave. Proudly Canadian. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
Now at BelAir.com.
This season, everyone deserves a little more, and Mazda delivers with the extended driving range of the CX-50 Hybrid, so you can spend more time together. Standard all-wheel drive in every Mazda CUV, including the CX-5, and room to bring everyone with 3-row seating in the CX-90. Find more reasons to celebrate the season at the Mazda More to Move You sales event.